Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Mazoo. Yay! We're back. It's time for more Constellation with Star Trek Adventures, the crew of the Mazoo, games, playing, role-playing, talking, laughing, destroying things. I think I have the best intro in all of Twitch, personally.
It's really good.
I think it's great. I think it's really solid. I've been working hard on it. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well.
Oh, man.
Apologize we weren't here last week. We're here now, though. Thank you all for helping out with that. I do appreciate your help. We'll be here on the reg until we take our holiday break, guys. Don't worry about it. We'll be here for you. We got you. And thanks for those who already showed up. Thanks so much. Qui-Gon, you almost made it.
Hey.
Almost made it.
I know him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Almost finished the whole thing. And then Roving Naturalist is here as well. So hi, everybody.
Great. Welcome.
Welcome aboard to the stuff.
Thanks for roving on over
to the stuff.
Let's get some things out of the way. First of all, hi, thanks for being here. The most important thing is that you're here, and we sincerely appreciate it while you're here. Take a second to share. I'm going to be chatting aimlessly for another 5 minutes or so. You've got time to hit up your social media things and be like, hey, there's a cool bunch of people doing cool stuff online. You should check it out.
Just like we're all doing, right?
Exactly. That's what all this is. All the social
saying.
media things happening. So just take a second to do that. That's the most important thing that you can do. If you haven't already, make sure that you go ahead and follow us here on Twitch. If you're watching the archive on YouTube, definitely subscribe on YouTube. Don't forget, you can also subscribe on Twitch. If you really like, you want to support the stream, you can subscribe on Twitch and help support the stream and all of our D&D streams and the gaming streams and everything else that we do on the channel. So you can do all that stuff. If you really like what we're doing, if you look down the doobly-doo down below, you're going to see links to a Patreon at patreon.com/Heroes of Awesome. You can become a patron over there. There are also links to a shop where you can buy t-shirts like our Anomalies Happen t-shirt. You should pick those up. They're pretty cool. And if you want to, you could also throw some bits our way. This is Twitch. You have bits. You can throw them our way if you want. It's fine.
Twitch a bit.
We'll take your bits.
Twitch your bits.
Or you could even do just straight up things, be like, here's $1 for your time. We'd be like, thank you very much for your $1 of our time. Is that how that works? Whatever. You can do all that. But as I said before, the most important thing is that you're here and you're awesome. We love having you here, chatting with us and talking through the whole thing. So thank you for being here and keep coming back because we like doing it. We like talking to you guys while we're here. Let's see, we did miss last week, so we've all been actually kind of trying to catch up. It's been about 2 weeks. We're like, what did we do last time? Did we talk about something? I don't know.
So we're in space, right?
Space, yes.
Okay,
yeah,
good,
the one
good.
before we were not.
No.
We were underwater.
That's right.
Oh.
It was a
That was a
submarine
weird
show.
game.
Submarine. Weird.
Submarine
Remember the
Trek.
Roman chariot races?
That was Dust Constellation.
That was like 2 or 3
3 weeks. 3 weeks
Yeah,
before the
that
chariot
was-
races. Got it.
The chariot races were way back then. So we get around. What can you say? Before we get started with all the other stuff, as always, I want to take a second and see if there's anything you guys want to pimp out. I know you guys are in a lot of projects, doing a lot of things. Anything going on right now you want to talk about?
Wednesday night, Jen Brown plays. Sunday, during the day, Jen Brown plays. It's my wife. She's kind of famous, and she plays games on Twitch.
Did you guys know that his wife is kind of famous?
I did.
Really?
I
I did know that.
And she plays games on
I was
Twitch.
friends with his wife before she was his wife.
Really?
Yeah.
I was friends with them separately.
Separately,
Yeah,
And then they got together. I was like, whoa, this is
This is
crazy.
weird.
How could this be possible?
This is just strange.
There were a bunch of people who were like, didn't think about us being together and never crossed their minds, and then when they found out we were together, they were like, oh yeah. I wish I had made that happen earlier. They probably would have been
Why
happier
didn't we
longer.
we totally should have done that ages ago. Jeez.
Outside of that, no, nothing major.
Nothing else? Is any projects you working on right now?
I mean, I'm working on many projects, but I don't think there are any that
Our
Me-
opening
me-
anytime.
are
Are consumable.
Huh?
Right. Nothing right now.
Like I'm building puppets for a thing, but it won't be local.
Oh,
I want you to build me puppets for me.
can we have a puppet
Pay me
episode?
money.
She was building a monkey while we were rewatching
I
DS9
literally,
episodes last
I
night.
brought, because I'm making paper mock-ups so that I can send it to the opera company I'm making them for and say, hey, are these the size you want? And if they are, then I use the paper that I did the mock-ups of to make my patterns.
Right.
But it turns out just plain white paper is horrible to sculpt with, and especially when I have to put everything together with either straight pins or like little
I
binder
can
clips.
imagine, yeah.
So
What would you use instead? Just like muslin or something like that?
it would need to be a heavier fabric, and like that costs money. The whole point of the paper was that it was cheap.
Yeah, feel that.
It's sort of time versus money, and at this point, I'm pretty well convinced that the money's worth the time. At this point. So
All right.
next time, I'm gonna do it different.
All right, we've learned.
Yes.
Heath, you got anything going on? Cyrano's done.
Cyrano's done. Jim Brown Plays Wednesday night. I'm also sometimes over on Lowbro Cop's channel. We try to, when we're available on Friday nights, he's making me play Dark Souls.
Oh shoot!
And,
That is a hard game.
it is, but it's like I was telling Mark earlier, it's something I would never have actively chosen to play, but it is fun in a Twitch setting, like hanging there with my buddy and having chat there and all doing it together is the only way I'd ever play that game. But it's fun as a group.
This is with Brian?
Yeah, with Brian on his
awesome.
channel.
What's the channel again?
Lowbro Cop.
Lowbro Cop. So check it out. That's on Fridays, yeah?
Yeah, generally.
Yeah.
Not this Friday because I got another thing. But.
Hey, well, that happens. I have a lot of things going on too. Lauren, what about you?
I'm clear. I've been traveling.
You have been traveling, yeah. Your vacation good?
Oh, it was amazing. Anyone should go to Greece if you have the opportunity. Go. It was fantastic.
I'm going now.
I hear that
Yeah,
it's the
let's all
weather.
go.
I see what you...
I'll be
Yeah.
Kate would smack
Don't
you
do
right
that
now.
again.
I know, but she's not here. No
All the
daggers for me.
puns.
No daggers for you. Jordan, you got anything going on?
Not a whole lot coming up. I've been taking a little break from performing, but I think the next time I'll be on stage will be the Hideout Theater's 20th anniversary / birthday show is coming up on October 25th at the Scottish Rite Theater. It's going to be a big show / party with... I know, celebrating your... But they're renting out the Hideout to the film festival. It's a whole thing.
Oh, so it's going on the same time as the film festival. Yeah, that's right.
And trying to fit in enough people because I actually don't even know if it's going to be open to the public. I assume so because that's a huge space to fill. But
it's a big space.
So I hope I didn't just blow it, Kareem. I'm sorry if I did. But yeah, so a bunch of old shows and casts will be coming back and playing, and I've been in some of those, so I'll be there for that. And speaking of anniversaries, just going to go ahead and throw it out there because Cindy and I are both here. Tonight is the 8th anniversary of our troupe, Indigo Shift. So if you want to go like us on Instagram and Facebook and like look at our silly, scary, sexy photos and
Is
watch
that
some
the
of our
same
videos.
Indigo Shift that was nominated for a BI?
It is the very same Indigo
Really?
Shift.
Wow.
Yes.
Very same Indigo.
That swarmed the stage of the West Coast Musical Improv Festival earlier this year in San Francisco, California.
Would it really
The
embarrass
very
if it was a
same.
different Indigo?
I know.
like, no, different.
No, Mark.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
it's a different one.
My bad.
We're involved in a protracted lawsuit with them.
And yet somehow they keep giving these awards.
Okay.
They
all
improv
right.
their way out of court every time.
I guess we've got nothing else to talk about. Then we can dive into all the stuff. We have a lot going on, but we should find out some thoughts about the last time. I think that Commander Zodiac has some thoughts about this time. Let's take a listen to Izzy's log and see where we're at.
Personal log, Lieutenant Commander Zodiac. The spy in Tashek's head has a name, Selethis. With more creative brainstorming, Cade, Morganth, Jorsh, and Tashek were able to access the memories of Tashek's Romulan stowaway, shedding further light on how he got there, and confirming that he is a fully sentient, separate being. He has a whole life, or had. He was a senator, a husband, a father, an opponent of the Tal Shiar. Maybe a traitor to the Empire, maybe falsely accused, either way, coerced into having his consciousness transferred into the mind of a Vulcan child some 15 years ago, and forced to work as a mole within Starfleet under perpetual threat of harm to his wife and 2 children. I certainly don't trust him. He's already been responsible for the death of Six Hearth and Captain Rawl, as well as extensive damage to our ship and the Hearth's sacred kindred. But if there's any chance that his family can be spared punishment for his actions, I cannot in good conscience just let them suffer. The Tal Shiar are as cruel as they are shrewd. I don't even know if we can help, I just feel like I have to try. At least until we can agree on a long-term solution, we have placed Lieutenant Tashek in temporary stasis while we pursue a lead on Jennifer Prescott's last known location, Starbase 105. The fate of Selethis and his family will have to wait. I understand the instinct to protect family in spite of the personal cost, Though I must admit, this puts my own decisions into very stark perspective, and it is more clear to me than ever that I've made terrible, foolish mistakes, and I need to correct them. Family name, reputation within Starfleet, I had no good reason to abandon my children the way I did. I've allowed shame to guide my decisions for 20 years. That's ludicrous. I may never be able to make things right with my children, my family, but I have the one thing neither this Selethis nor his victims will ever have again: a chance. All I require is the courage to take it. Zotiat out.
And at this point, Tashek is in stasis, and there's a meeting going on in the ready room with Captain Newman with senior staff, trying to figure out next steps.
So we kind of promised Selethis that we were going to try to send some sort of message that would let the Romulans know that he did not screw up and get caught. And we need to figure out what that should look like.
I think there's also presents an opportunity with some of our suspicions in the past to possibly confirm whether one or possibly both of the higher ups that we've been reporting to are potentially, if not corrupted themselves, perhaps some leak in their
Chain of command.
yeah, some planting of disinformation to then see what comes back to us and clip the branch, as it were.
So given the information that they've already been given and what they do and don't know about our operation so far, we have two fairly easy vehicles for that disinformation. One is we can report that I am successfully working on fabricating new crystals. And the other is that Morganth is making progress tracing down the source of the virus, which actually isn't false, necessarily.
We're just backtracking the truth a little bit.
But yeah, so that way, if Selethis is then given orders to try to stop either myself or Morganth,
Or even
then
just more closely monitor either one of them, then we know
where the leak
that's where
is.
our leak is. And if they're told to do both, then I think we run.
The other question, though, is what we tell them about the status of Tashek and our hunt for the mole, because if they think that he has been found out as an implanted personality within one of our officers, then they'll know that he's been compromised. So we need to make it look as though we think we have solved the problem so that Tashek isn't just taken away by Starfleet Command, but also in such a way that he could then convincingly send back word that he has fooled us and is still safe.
I think the surest way to go about that, at least, is remove all suspicion from Tashek. I'm not certain what all we reported. I assume that there's been some kind of control of information flow to the admirals up to this point. But whatever we've told them so far, if we're able to backtrack it, we got this wrong. This theory didn't pan out. Tashek was being set up. There was a separate mole who used all of the confusion of the virus and the explosion to make their escape. We don't know if they're heading to Romulan space, if they're hiding out on Hearth. We're putting out feelers, etc., etc. That gives Tashek cover to still pose as Selethis without fear of suspicion.
Well, I believe we could use rods, specialist rods, work on a counterwave as the basis for how we removed the second personality, giving us, again, some level of truth, as this device can be shown, the schematics can be delivered if asked for. I believe we can cover that with something that we've already, a known quantity.
The risk I see there would be especially if we're sharing the schematics, the entire operation of, as brilliant as it is founded on the frequency. If we want them to believe that it's still
the triggering device.
If we want them to still be able to communicate
Yeah, that's
and
substantial.
along a frequency that we know and can monitor, I don't think we want to give away that ace white so freely.
So we would need to make
Good
it
point.
look like we discovered some mechanism other than the actual mechanism.
Or just, I mean, I'm going to stand by the argument like we're dumb Federation people, we don't know about alternate personalities, and
I mean, we
Just-
don't have a psychiatrist or neurologist on board.
yeah, we say whatever evidence that we had, we believe now was fabricated or may have been a glitch in the system. They'll believe that we have inferior technology and inferior officers. I think anything that starts to stink of the truth of us actually narrowing down onto a second persona, Silithus in any way, whether it's artificial, whether we think we got rid of it or subdued it, it still casts suspicion on him and gets awfully close to triggering that landmine of killing his family.
Well, it must have some form of resolution that is believable by Starfleet more than the Romulans.
If we can fabricated evidence, instead of handing over the actual proof that we found, we put together things that look remarkably like George's brain scans, like the phaser array that was used on Hearth. Things that look just slightly off enough that we were able to say, this is a frame job, this is a setup. Someone else set her up. Otherwise, they're going to expect us to have her under suspicion and to hand her over to Starfleet.
Well,
Or the hearth.
Right.
Starfleet knows that Tashek was being controlled at some point. I think it would be harder for them to believe that I would get things that dramatically incorrect.
Again, I don't know exactly what the nature of what you told them, so...
Well, I know, or I believe I would recall telling Admiral Davis that Tashek had been compromised and that another personality was in control.
Well, if
Which
Davis-
means we can't, trying to backtrack on that to the point of saying, oh, it was all a ruse, a mechanical ruse, seems highly unlikely to be believed. Perhaps just a belief that we suppressed the other personality through medications?
That was my thinking exactly. It was
I mean,
perhaps
that's my hope. I'm working on that very concept now, but...
Again, with something that we are working on that we can claim completion or progress beyond what we have with the crystal, with tracking down the virus, and now this.
which also leaves enough room for Silithus to say they think they've contained me via this serum, but
They've
I'm still actually in control.
And he can claim that he's now found access through a different part of the brain, so that the infrastructure that we did discover has in fact been nullified.
Yes, that we never actually discovered the second brainwave pattern. We nearly drugged Tashek into submission, or Tashek's alternate personality into submission. That's what we can claim. I do not relish lying to Starfleet, but I believe
We
it's our
can
only
come clean
option.
on every front once the operation's completely wrapped up. Until then, we don't know who to trust, and I don't think we have since this mission began.
It is risky, but if we do eventually uncover wherever this leak is, then I I'm obviously new to Starfleet, but I feel like any reasonable organization would understand our course of action once a resolution has been reached and we can explain why we had to do what we had to do.
I agree, and even if there are repercussions, then I will take them on and face whatever consequences they throw at me. I believe our defense is strong in that case. Back to the message to the Tal Shiar. I believe we have some of it. We must cover.
I hand Captain Newman a pad that has my work so far, as far as like what medications and combinations of things and deconditioning techniques I want to use, and my actual therapy regime. So if you want to review that and find anything, cherry pick bits from it that to give some indication that the work has been done, or at least we believe it to have been. The seed of truth, as you
agreed. This may, and I take it and look at it. I go, this may come in useful if they press for more information, but I don't believe we should send any of this out.
Well, I'd also like you to review it just as
yes.
my actual plan for what to do.
I'll put this on the back burner for the moment.
I appreciate it.
So we have to cover that our failure to contain. I'm going to still refer to this false version as Tushek. Our inability to contain Tushek. Tushek needs to let them know that. Tushek also needs to let them know the status of the mission and ask for next...
Further instructions.
Yeah, further instructions. Yes. We must include, if it hasn't already been set, the murder of Captain Rawl. That may not have been in the last... We need to know what the last message sent contained, as a lot happened on Hearth and a lot happened on the ship since then.
As far as what Selethos told us before, he had not been...
He had not sent a response since he got his orders on Hearth.
Right. So the next message that we send back will be his de facto response to whatever happened. So we have to make sure that that story is at least in keeping with whatever report that we give to both admirals.
Well, I don't think we need to make up much there. That perhaps we leave out the part with the runabout attempting to escape with the crystal. That the last successful action was the sabotage of the ship and the death of Captain Rawl. But
that we were able to subdue her and recover the crystal before it even got near Romulan space.
But they will get word through wherever our Starfleet leak is that we had to recover the runabout and the crystal.
Also true.
Okay.
So we keep it truthful up to that point as well, that we were able to...
And so after that, again, everything can remain truthful, captured, contained, and then the only part that's the lie is that that we failed to subdue the personality, which is actually still true, but we have made an accord.
But we believe that we have.
We discovered and destroyed the device by which we believe the personality was triggered, which is true. But Selethos lets the Romulans know that because of the treatment that we had been giving...
It actually made things worse.
Yes, and he's actually able to control her even in a dormant state, perhaps.
Yes.
So that even when she's actively to check, he could still be operating.
Yeah.
That way, if there's even if there's further leaks on the ship and they see her walking about as to check, it'll remove suspicion.
Is perhaps the last piece of the message could be something along the lines of remaining as quiet as possible until receipt of further instructions.
Yes. Device destroyed, but frequency still hidden. Continue to communicate along this channel.
Just to make sure that everything is on the same page. So everything concerning the crystal and the hearth, we are telling them the truth on that. Is that correct?
It's if we believe that someone in Starfleet is feeding the Romulans information, we have to avoid lying as much as possible.
Yes. I just want to make sure that
Mm-hmm.
nothing that the hearth tells Starfleet conflicts with what we
No.
tell
I
Starfleet.
don't believe so.
No, as long as we're honest up to that point, the only lies we'll be telling are really what happened once what we did to handle Selethas within Tashek. The actual operations as far as recovering the crystal and returning it to Hearth, I think it's important that we include in the report back to the Romulans that crystal is damaged, which gives them less cause to target the Hearth.
Agreed.
But again, now is that true?
That the crystal is damaged? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so in other words,
So if
nothing
someone,
my people might say will contradict anything we're saying here. Like they won't
No.
be like,
Correct.
yeah.
Yes.
Just
and they
make
might
absolute
mention that, I don't remember whether we told them that I was trying to replicate it. I think I mentioned that I was looking into it. I don't think I mentioned that I thought it was not possible.
I don't believe so.
And even if you did at the time, that's certainly not something that would remain true from one day to the next. Especially with a Hearth scientist on board who is familiar with that technology, or at least more so than we have been up to now,
I mean,
at least as far as the Romulans are concerned.
Agreed. I will deliver this information to. I know Kate's not here, but I feel like I can off screen.
Sure.
Her.
Yeah.
I'll deliver this information to Morganth for review and to write up the final version, and then we'll take the check out of stasis finally.
Yes, at your earliest convenience, I'd like to review that. As soon as she's out of stasis, I'd like to begin her therapy regime and start actually.
I'll review it now as Morganth does the write up.
I appreciate it.
All right.
Okay, so the message to Starfleet Command. There's going to be two separate messages. Is that what I'm getting so far? Or is there only one message going to Command?
No, there's two separate messages to the admirals.
the two different
Okay.
animals.
So what are you sending to Grossich?
Grosich is going to get the message
Let's give him the virus.
that Morganth is working on the virus.
That is
No, let's
funny
give
the
him
way I
the
just said
virus.
that.
So here's the difference.
Here's a file attachment, Admiral, if you want.
These are the only real differences between the two. Is he's going to get the one about the Grosich is going to get the one about the virus.
Okay.
Davis is going to get the one about the crystal synthesization. Synthesization?
Sure.
That's not a word, is
I
it?
think you
It
just
is
mentioned
now.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Technobabble rules apply.
Oh, I probably just made a huge noise by moving my shirt. Sorry, everybody. Everything else is going to be the same, which is a report from the last time I spoke to them, which wasn't too long ago. The Grosich is going to get a little more information about the Tashek situation because I didn't bring him completely up to speed.
Okay.
But that they're both going to get the. We have subsumed the personality via drug treatment.
You could drop the crystal information to Davis just in the context of this. This may interest you in particular because it means that the situation with the hearth is now more secure. That
Yeah.
would be a good reason to tell him
Makes sense.
and not.
I think we'd
not
also
to Grosich.
not want to have too great a time interval pass between disseminating those pieces of information and getting in contact with the Romulans as Slethos.
Yep.
Because we don't want them to be under the impression that he has failed and
No.
potentially execute his family before we can get them word that
Yes.
No, I'm still here.
Yeah, the turnaround's gonna be pretty fast.
Yeah.
Okay. So next step then is to open up and wake up to Shek.
Yes.
Okay. Let's cut back down to.
Oh, before that, what I do review his drug policy.
It's a combination of a pharmaceutical cocktail, some deconditioning techniques. I've been studying some
Holistic.
Vulcan mental discipline.
I'm sure some of it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm a sciencey guy. Well, it's bioscience, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's chemical leading to bio, so I can probably understand about half to 3/4 of it.
I'm fairly
Sure.
positive it has to involve some turmeric.
Yeah, yummy. Does it, you just take a little bit of the Romulan brain and a piece of water and a bunch of water, you drink that, and it's... All right.
Well, I can offer it to her in cinnamon, fresh mint.
There's that road. All right. Hey.
So, yeah, what's it like? What do I think? Does this make sense?
I mean,
Think of the job?
everything that he's given you is valid in terms of the research, as far as deconditioning techniques, as far as the medical aspect of things. I mean, I think you're probably looking at a lot of antipsychotics and things like that they would be given and everything.
Right.
But it's all legit. Whether it works is another story.
Yeah, because this is a unique situation, as it's not someone who's been conditioned.
Right.
It's a secondary personality.
Right.
So we don't know how these drugs will interact.
Yeah, this is
with-
going to be a lot of differential diagnosing of just kind of like seeing how things affect your system, what techniques are working, and then I'll adjust.
We can't test it.
We can't, not effectively. No, I mean the only effective way to test it is to.
We're having this conversation as we're
As you're walking
Yes,
down.
exactly. Yeah,
Of course,
Yeah,
of course.
I'll pick it up there because you're actually responding even though I'm not using the right voice. Okay, here we go. This is the right voice. I'm talking like the captain now.
You might want to come in for another checkup, by the way.
Are you sure?
You got a little
No, I'm
take
fine.
there.
Everything's fine.
All right.
Basketball. Well, my concern here is that we can't let Tashek know about this research you're doing, and we can't let Tashek know that you're trying to make any changes because that would violate essentially the treaty that we have with Selethis.
I wasn't aware of any actual, other than protecting his family. We're containing him. We're allowing Tashek a measure of control of her own life.
Agreed, but I don't know if Selethis will consider us trying to completely shut down the personality, even temporarily, as being helping him keep his family alive.
I think if you can think of it less as shutting him down, even temporarily, so much as we're building a very special cell in the brig that just happens to be in her head, which is the only place we can contain him right now. If there's any possibility of actually permanently removing him at any point, it is vital that we keep the personalities separate at this point. If the walls continue to break down and the two personas merge, it will be almost impossible. Even if we were able to get our hands on the Romulan technology that did this in the first place, I think, to extract him from her, they would become essentially a hybrid consciousness. To possibly remove him later, the safest way is to contain him now. Personally, I don't give a fig about him. Tashek is my patient as far as I'm concerned, and it is her well-being that I will serve. But I do think that the techniques that I'm proposing, if they work, and if I'm allowed to tweak and adjust as we go, that this is also the most effective way of potentially, if there's a way to keep whatever promises you might have made him as far as removing or reuniting him with his family someday, this is still the best hope.
That's what he wants, and I have no idea how to give that to him.
If I can assure him that through Tashek, that then it's possible that, and he believes what I'm telling him, which won't be a lie, then it's possible he even will assist from within, be a willing inmate.
Well, he seems to be willing to stay out of the way for now, at least.
I don't want to take the chance that he changes his mind and is able to
I
take
don't-
her over at a moment's notice.
I don't either. Is there a possibility that what you've shown me here could be used in an emergency context?
I don't think so. It's a progressive therapeutic regime. This is not something that I can administer as a one-time fix. This is going to be something that we do over time to help build these walls.
What if we need Selethis for something? What if we need Selethis for information or to send something to the Romulans?
Ideally, if he's still within and still aware and still willing, one of the things we discovered during this past time is that the possibility of internal communication between the consciousnesses is possible. I don't know if this wall will merely stop him manifesting or stop that communicating as well, but we do also have the original serum. If necessary, I could administer that in an emergency fashion and possibly break down some of those walls. But again, this is all unexplored, unknown quantities.
Are we still around for this conversation?
If you want to
Okay,
be.
then I just
You meet us in the hallway.
Oh, hey.
just because the
As
other
he pops
thing
up from
was,
behind.
it did appear that Tashek was able to give him control temporarily.
True. The only concern in that regard would be that the walls that we're attempting to construct, whether or not she would have enough control that essentially to be a gatekeeper to those walls, that she could access him, or if they have to be for a wall. It's hard to talk about these things in terms of metaphor, but it is the easiest way to communicate the concepts. These are complete unknowns by Bill. I mean,
But what you're saying is that consistently over time, regardless of who's driving, these walls are being broken down.
yes, and
So it doesn't matter who's in charge, or how many times the consciousness gets transferred from whoever's who's ever leading. The walls still deteriorate until this point of convergence, as you say, between the two consciousnesses.
if my therapeutic regime does its job and the walls are strengthened along the lines that we want them to be, and Tashek can still access the consciousness, it's entirely possible that she could access him and give him control, and to a degree, and be able to retake control
She does
at a
have,
moment's notice. These are all X factors that I can explore as we're discovering exactly what this will do. I can't give you any promises right now as to results.
given her training, she does have an extraordinary amount of mental control.
And I'm
So it's
basing a
possible
lot
that
of
she
this
can-
regime around Vulcan mental discipline
Yes.
techniques
Well,
to make it familiar to her and play to her strengths.
I'm going to defer to you on this. You need to get Tashek's permission.
Oh,
And-
yeah, of course.
I believe if Tashek agrees, in a sense, Selethis would agree. As long as it doesn't mean destruction of the Selethis personality, I think we're okay.
The only way I can conceive of destroying him at this point is the same method of removing him, which would do more harm to Shek
And more harm
and her
to,
physical brain.
and more harm to Starfleet.
Correct.
And here we are.
So, well, with your permission, and once I rouse her, of course, with hers, we can begin work on this and begin seeing where it goes. But this is going to be a long-term process.
Understood.
There will not be immediate results. It'll,
As it is long term, first we shall have. So let us send the message. And we go in.
All right, you go in and she is still in stasis. You can.
I remove her from stasis, but keep her gently confined.
The patent manacles.
Yeah, to Shek level confinement, not Slethus level confinement.
Okay.
The specialist Ronald, welcome to the sick bay.
Oh, I was listening while I walked behind.
Thank you.
He actually helped me out on a few things, some breakthroughs I made with the serum
Excellent.
earlier. So,
And
He is both a great listener and an excellent sounding board.
you're
She,
lieutenant, right?
yeah,
Lieutenant Shek?
captain. Yes.
How you feeling?
Odd, but myself, I still feel Sleth's presence within me.
are you able to communicate with him in this state at all, or is it merely he can see and you're aware of him?
He can see and I'm aware of him. I could try to reach out to him if needed.
I'm sure he can at least
I feel like
hear what you're saying. I don't know if he's able to communicate. I guess the more pressing question is, can he communicate with you in this state?
he has before when he's called out to me. I've been trying, in my mind, to block that as was discussed.
Certainly.
So I haven't been open to hearing anything.
I'd
I
like-
believe he's also adhering to that based on his discussion with the captain.
I'd like to propose to the both of you, though primarily you are my concern. I've put together a therapeutic regime that I think will help strengthen the walls between your two personalities and will allow you a greater degree of control.
I see.
This does mean that Slethus has to give up a great measure of control, but keeping the two of you distinct and separated, I think, is our best long-term bet of having any possibility of safely removing him from your consciousness instead of having the two of you potentially merge as the walls continue to break down.
And it would allow us a chance to return Selethis in some way to either his body or some replacement and return to Romulus.
Yes. If there's any possibility of that occurring, I think this is also the best bet. But
It seems imperative to me for now that we keep our consciousnesses separated. Like you said, as far as we know, his body could be somewhere, and the Romulans might have that, where he could be returned to his own self eventually. My understanding from his conversation with you, Captain, his main concern was his family's safety. So as long as we are willing to keep up the ruse that he is in control and can communicate with the Romulans, that, as far as I understand, was what the agreement was. Not that he would have control, not that he would be able to do the communications himself.
yes, well, given the intelligence that Morganth was able to extract from him last time regarding the essential spycraft of delivering messages, I think we would be able to, or in particular she, would be able to craft messages convincingly. So,
In fact, she's done just such a thing now. I would like Selethis to review this message to ensure that it appears correct and in the right tone or cadence or code.
Would you like me to try to communicate, to have Selethis?
If you can, or
essentially, I'm reticent to bring him forward and give him even a temporary measure of control. I think that that's going to exacerbate the problems we're trying to avoid. But if there is any way that he can communicate from within, even as simple as one beep yes, 2 beeps no
Mark,
idea.
can I sense anything? Because he's hearing all this, so can I sense anything in my head? I know he's like yelled things in my mind before.
Right. You don't. He's not saying anything.
Okay. Is he feeling anything that
Oh,
I
he's
can
feeling
feel?
a lot.
Can I
So
sense
much.
his feelings?
You know what? Being a Vulcan, I'm going to make you roll on it.
Okay.
Let's do a roll.
He's feeling something.
Feelings are so strange to
It
you.
seems irritating to me.
Can I give
whole
her any
process is-
assistance in this regard?
Oh, no, not
Okay.
this one.
The whole process I give an F.
I'm like, I have a good
Give her a little
insight.
vitamin D shot. Give her a little boost.
Here,
That's interesting.
Eat
Let's
an orange.
do
Yeah, exactly. Take this orange slice before you try to talk to me.
let's do insight and command.
Let's move
Is there no control in the command?
Justify it.
Because I'm really focusing on my brain and controlling.
Trying
What
to
I'm
read his
sense-
emotions.
Yeah. Okay. I don't have.
I'll let you do it. It's going to be, I'm going to say a difficulty 2.
We don't.
give him threat. Or as I like to call it, a treat.
It's difficulty 2 if I use control and command, and would
It's going to
only-
be difficulty 2 regardless.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I don't think control and command feels right. You're trying to get the emotions. I think we're going to do insight. I'm not even happy with command, but I don't see another discipline that I really like on this. So let's do insight and command.
Then
Con
I-
doesn't work?
Yeah, right?
Navigating
Like,
the
Piloting the ship of her
pathways of the mind. That's how good a pilot she is.
I should probably give threat then.
You can give me, yes, you can give me, if you want to give me 3
Well,
threat, I'll
I
give you
got
2 die.
You can roll 4.
Do I want to do that?
Do it. Do it. Take a chance.
I'll-
Live dangerously.
How about 2 dice for 1 threat?
Have a, I like your negotiation. I see where you're going with, but no.
How about it?
Okay, so 1 threat and 1
Okay.
die.
All right.
This isn't my best score.
See what happens. That's good.
Okay, I got 3.
Hey, give yourself a momentum.
This thing's loud. Can we just take that threat away instead?
No.
Buy back that threat.
Definitely not. It's mine.
It was a debit threat.
Can't take his candy.
You definitely sense emotion, and while I wouldn't say anger is the right thing, there's a lot of frustration.
I'm like trying to think. Slethis isn't going to communicate right now. I think he is not happy with his situation.
Well, understandable.
But what he should understand is what we're doing is trying to help him and his family. If we send the wrong message to the Romulans, it could endanger them further. So if he could help, it's only to benefit his family.
Well, then let's let him review the message and see if he thinks it will be sufficient to protect his family. That's the whole point of this.
So read it out loud.
Dear Romulan buttheads,
Totally still
I have followed your stinky orders.
Mad Libs?
Yeah.
You do sense that he does want to say something.
Okay, I'm opening up the door if he wants to take over.
Starfleet never ceases to amaze me at times. We talk with all these ideals about what it means and how you treat people, and then you want to put me away in a place where I will be in a purgatory. How is that compassion? How is that right? That's nothing but torture. What would you feel if your consciousness was locked away, unable to experience anything in the world around you? knowing what I know, knowing my family's at risk. How would that make you feel?
We're doing what we can.
You're locking me away. You're locking me in a prison where I can't see, experience, feel, help. How am I supposed to be okay with that?
We don't know the exact state that these barriers will cause. You may still be able to perceive. You may still be able to communicate from within. We won't know until we begin. But this is, as bad as it might be for you, and you'll forgive me, but the killer of 7 people, including my captain's concerns about being confined, are not necessarily my primary concern. This is your best hope of ever being separated.
Captain, his opinion means nothing to me. This man who speaks so profusely about what it means and what it's confined and how he doesn't care. This is your chief medical officer. This is the man who believes things only when it matters to him. This is the man who would let a Cardassian die on the table before asking to help. I don't believe him. I don't trust him.
We don't trust you yet.
And well, you shouldn't. But you're asking me to give up everything I can do to help my family based on him? Based on his word? He would just as soon see me beamed out into nothingness and my family die than do anything else.
I do not believe that is true.
And somehow I believe it is.
Is it not also in your best interest to try to keep the personalities separate, for if the more they merge, the more you are trapped permanently in that body? Is that not true?
The more you lose yourself.
You're absolutely correct. I am terrified of losing myself here. I am terrified of losing myself.
The only possible way that you get to see your family again is if we can figure out a way to eventually extract you safely. That means that you have to cooperate with us so that we can continue to make the Tal Shiar believe you are doing your job as they expect.
Regardless of how I might feel about you or what you consider of my opinion, it is a medical fact that this is your best bet of ever having a life outside of Tashek's mind someday. If I could beam you into space and let you dissipate into individual atoms, you are damn right. I would do it in a heartbeat. But I can't do
Medical
that.
officer, stand
I
down.
cannot
Stand
do that.
down.
This is your best
Chief Medical
hope.
Officer. Chief Medical Officer, stand down. Now. I can't have you threatening him.
I'm not. I'm giving him his best chance. I'm telling him there is no threat to him. This is his hope. If you want your family to live, if you want a life outside of Tashek, this is your best chance. We can do it with or without your assistance. We're trying to work with you here.
Starfleet ideals. They mean so much unless you disagree. And then it's nothing but propaganda, is it? We care about everyone unless we disagree. Propaganda. That's all it is. You wonder why Romulans hate you. There it is.
Cade, if you open your mouth, I'll have you put in the brig.
You won't need to. I leave and report myself voluntarily to the brig.
Cade's in the book.
And as I leave, I say, lockdown!
And what does that do?
The vocal command that we triggered last time
Oh
to
boy.
that,
So, all the physical restraints, an extra force field, and a stasis field?
yeah.
So Tashek is back in stasis. Neat, Cade. Neat. Thank you.
I'm gone.
Well,
The way to undo that.
George,
Yep,
undo the lockdown. It's key to your voice.
I'm on it. No place like home. All comes back up. I made that myself. I watched a movie. I thought it was kind of.
You watch a lot of Earth movies.
I do. They're interesting.
We've
Are they?
had a lot of
Some of
downtime.
All right, it's up. I'm assuming you want me to take him out of stasis, correct?
Yes.
Yes, please.
All right. Out of stasis, and Slethus is still active.
So you might want to leave on those restraints.
I will take the restraints.
I apologize.
Do you understand my fear?
Yes.
Do you understand why I don't trust the CMO of the ship? I've been on this crew. I know what he's like. I believe at the first chance, I'm gone.
We will not allow that.
Again, as I mentioned, hopefully you can sense that I do care about fairness, and despite there's no arguing your crimes, that does not mean that I hold that against your family or anyone who has not directly committed any crimes. But again, do you not see that our goal is simply is in the best interest of you and Tashek? We're trying to keep you separate. The goal is not imprisonment, or at least, I should say, only speaking for myself, imprisonment or punishment. It is
That's not our job.
is just trying to keep you from both losing yourselves into one being. That is the goal of everything we're trying here.
And we're also trying to keep your family safe, but that requires your cooperation.
May I see the message, please? Sounds like a Beta Z, not a Romulan. Let me make some changes. Making a few changes. That's my voice.
Thank you. And then we can send that off to Morganth to send back via the frequency. So what this means is they should continue communicating with you, and we will have further opportunities for you to prove yourself to them. We will work together, and we will protect your family. And hopefully at the end of all this, we find a way to get you back to them.
And how do you propose to keep me safe from your CMO?
Have you met our chief of security?
Yes, where is she?
She's busy at the moment. But she will keep him in check. I will keep him in check. The captain will keep him in check. I already have a few ideas for what I'm going to do to the brig that he just locked himself in.
And just so you know, he can be very expressive, shall we say, but he has never done anything, to my knowledge, Captain, against your orders. He is a Starfleet officer. His emotions might get the best of him, but to my knowledge, he would never have the... you are safe.
If he does try to harm you, he will be off the ship.
And Slethus, I know you're frustrated by Starfleet ideals versus reality, but one of the realities of Starfleet is that we have many different types of people from around the universe that are all from different cultures and all have different beliefs. And we disagree and we argue And some of us are callous, and some of us are kind. But it's only through all these things acting together do we find ourselves as one unified whole. So whether you trust him or not, or you believe that he will or won't harm you, it's just part of what Starfleet is.
How much can I trust you, Captain?
You know I'm a negotiator. You know I am a person who looks for the best option. And primarily, despite when my emotions get a hold of me, I try to find the most peaceful option. What you did and what you've done, while explicable, given the situation you found yourself in, is still difficult to resolve. But I know it's better to have a tenuous treaty with you and us working towards the same goal than it is for you to fear me or for me to fear you. I don't know how this ends for you. I don't. I'm going to try to hold up my end of the bargain. But I'm worried for Tashek. She needs to be safe. And she needs to remain who she is, and you don't need to remain who you are. I don't want to lock you away. Not inside someone's mind. So what treaty, what agreement can we come to?
Captain, I do not want to be locked away in a void. I also want to be separate from Tashek. I believe perhaps if Tashek and I worked together, we could use some of her training to facilitate that. As for what I can offer you to give you assurances, I've already given you the name of an officer within the Vulcan High Command. I can give you my experience. I can give you anything you need or want if you can make sure my family is safe.
How can we make sure your family is safe?
Continuing to send the messages.
But obviously that's untenable in the long term, correct? I mean, we can't continue sending messages for all eternity.
It's a Band-Aid. I would like permission to spend time developing a possible extraction.
Under close watch?
That seems appropriate.
Tashek will have to agree to this.
Of course. I'm sure she would have to agree to all of it, but that is what I would like to propose to you.
She is just as interested in getting you out of her head as you are in getting out of hers. As I understand it.
I just hope there's a place for me to go, but
Yes, we still have to figure that out.
I believe I was with Tashek when she went through the Kolinar.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that we may be able to help each other remain separate with her permission. I would like to have a voice.
You will have to for this to work.
That is true. Just please remember that some of your senior staff disagrees with it.
He'll change his mind.
Doubtful. You know I'm right.
We'll try. If he doesn't change his mind, he will not be allowed to work on you.
Captain?
We have other medical officers. George, for example.
If those terms are agreeable to check and yourself, then you can consider me an ally.
There's a time limit. If I start seeing a breakdown between who Tashek is and who you are, we will have to re-examine the treaty.
Understood. Thank you.
So let this, if I may say one last thing. One of the main reasons I am here, that I've joined Starfleet, is because of their mission and my desire to bridge cultures and species. I, on my home planet, was personally responsible for 2 traitorous beings who did a lot of damage there. And nevertheless, I hold it that their entire species should not be held accountable for the actions of that one individual. I know there's a lot of hostility between the humans and the Romulans, but I do hope perhaps there can be some peace between us in the future. And I'm not saying I don't know what your future is either. There are crimes to be accounted for, but at some point, you have to stop hitting each other. And I hold no hatred in my heart for you or your kind, and hope that there can be something more in the future. And I think that perhaps, as small as this is, maybe this could be the first of the tiniest steps.
Thank you, Specialist. I feel like Delimi would like Hearth. Back to you, Chet.
Captain.
So you heard all that.
Yes.
How do you feel?
I'm willing to agree to Celestis' terms. However, I have terms of my own. I joined Starfleet and given most of my life to Starfleet. And I am done being distracted from our mission and distracted from what I was meant to do. I will take the time to work with Celestis and work on how we can bridge our minds and bridge our personalities when I'm off duty. What I would like to do is, if Commander Izzy maybe can work with George to set up some kind of failsafe when I'm on duty, if you allow me to get back on the bridge, that will monitor my brainwaves. And during that time, if Celestis takes over, I can be immediately knocked out. When I'm not on duty, I would be willing to report directly to the brig. There, Celestis can have a free personality, and we can maybe be conscious at the same time, if that even is possible. That way, he's able to get what he wants out of it, and I still can carry on with why I came here and why I'm part of this crew. If such a device could be created, but as it is, I don't trust letting him, any chance of him being on the bridge.
Agreed. Although it may be, I think it would be allowable to let you go to your quarters instead of the brig. You can put it on lockdown.
Can lock out her security access when she's not on duty.
Mm. And if you or Celethis do need something from the rest of the ship, you can be accompanied by a member of security. The device, if such a thing is possible, can be attached. And I want you to still be a member of Starfleet, not a prisoner who gets to steer the ship every now and again.
Yes, Captain, me too.
What I've wanted since this all began was you on the deck where you belong. Is this something that's achievable?
Sure, we should be able to.
I think we could put something together.
We just need to be able to scan for that particular brainwave pattern and then stun.
Sure. Yeah. No, I think we can. Yeah. I mean, it might not be the most fashionable headpiece, but I think it makes something that would, do the job. Yeah, Captain. I think between Commander and I, we can probably make something work.
Good. This seems agreeable to all parties, barring any changes in your personality. The other thing I don't want to check is for you to be lost or turned into something that you're not. And I don't want Celethis to disappear either. You're both conscious beings who deserve sentience. That doesn't mean I like you. If you understand.
Yes, Captain.
All beings deserve something of themselves. All conscious beings deserve to have that consciousness. Anyway.
Well, we have Cade's recommendations, which I believe are still valid, even though maybe he won't be administering them. Methods, maybe we can rearrange them instead of it being a block out. It will kind of do the opposite, where we can open the door between me and Celethis without actually making connections to where we can communicate and learn how to exist separately, at least for the time being, until we can find a way to return him back to his own being.
Part of his medical procedure was concentrating on just reducing the breakdown of the synapses and such. I mean, perhaps just concentrating on that portion of the procedure. Because that's what's most important, is what we don't want is the breakdown of the two minds in one, correct?
I just want to be able to do my job.
I believe you shall be able to do your job. And I believe that with your formidable mental acuity, you should be able to keep this alliance afloat while not putting a man in a being in solitary confinement within your own mind. It's a lot to ask. I know you didn't want... All of this was forced upon you. It seems like many of us on this ship have had things forced upon us that we did not want.
Yes. Well, obviously it should be... I should know as little about the device as possible, how it functions. is everything.
Yes.
So,
For now, we'll remand you to your quarters with
I
security.
Go over and just deactivate all the various restraints on the bed.
She's free.
thank you, Captain.
I put my faith in you because I believe in you. You're a member of Starfleet, and I'm certain you will act accordingly outside extenuating circumstances.
Thank you. Am I being escorted?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, security will take you there.
So, yeah, I mean,
But I'm gonna put her back on the duty roster.
okay.
We
Alright.
should have Morganth identify a small team of security that she trusts enough that we can give them more information. I think part of the charade that we're putting on for whatever eyes are spying on us is going to depend upon as few people knowing the full story as possible. And so if we just have a small handful of trusted security officers, and one of them is always with her, that minimizes the number of potential leaks.
Agreed.
Amanda, you want to start working on that then?
Yeah.
Okay. I got a station out over here.
Perfect, let's do it.
Great, let's do the thing. Let's go ahead and let's just see what we can do. Let's do a quick check. Let's do let's do control and engineering check for you.
Okay.
And for George, we're gonna do a reason and medicine.
All right. And are we both doing it?
We're both gonna
Separate-
do it.
separate tasks?
Separate
Okay.
here's how I want to kind of play this. I want to both roll the different things, both roll 2 die,
Yeah.
but I want a shared difficulty.
Okay.
Okay, so I want a difficulty 2.
Okay.
So
Well,
we're
we've got 4 dice to
We've
do
got
it.
4 dice to do.
Okay.
Fair?
Control and engineering. Sounds good.
Ooh, wow.
I guess that was good.
This is really good.
All right. Well, you alone have 3. George has. Oh wait, George actually might have. George has 2. So
That's 5. So
That's
we
five.
get 3
Yeah.
momentum.
you will be able to develop that. It's going to take a while to fabricate, but you'll be able to put it together pretty quickly.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a while.
Hey, everybody, look at these.
Oh yeah. Have you seen these tokens from Strategic Dino?
We're
You can get these
not
tokens
dead.
from
So
Strategic Dino.
watch this. You can see it here, and I'm going to put it in this tray down here to mark that we have a momentum.
Is that how that works? This whole time I never
Yeah,
realized
they
that's how that
can't
works.
see it.
Wow.
They can't see the.
That's crazy.
Look at that.
Am I behind?
That's pretty. That's pretty.
So pretty.
Aren't they great?
Okay, so
Toys.
you and George are going to be building that device thing that
For a little
will
while.
be a little while ago there. You're headed to your quarters under guard, least back to the quarters. What are you going to be doing?
Unless the captain has specific orders for me, I'm always about researching and increasing my knowledge in the archive. All my free time's in the archives, the library.
Astrometrics lab. Just like,
I do not require your assistance at this time. Please avail yourself to the resources.
Thank you, sir. Something a lot of catch up. My new life.
If you want something to work on,
Absolutely.
I'd love for you to review the data from the time quake. Basically, just all our data on the information that's been recovered from Arista 3, and see if you have any insights that we missed.
I'm intrigued already.
okay. And
Yeah,
Cade,
Arista 3, that was forever
a long time ago.
Yeah,
Cade
but
was
like,
heading down to the brig.
That's the mission.
I know, it's just crazy.
Is that the mission?
Theoretically, we're going to get back on.
Yeah, when are we going to do Starbase?
You guys are on your way to 105, so you'll be at 105 soon.
Okay.
This is all happening on route to 105, so you should be there soon. Cade was headed down to put himself in a brig. What are you doing?
I'm gonna go. I gotta go there.
You gonna go to the
Yeah.
brig?
I'm gonna
It's like,
swing.
if you're not going to, I will.
I'm gonna swing by my quarters first and grab a couple of
Cat of Nine Tails?
no boozy drinks, boozy
drinks.
couple of boozy beers, a
Okay.
couple of
Boozy beers.
ales that taste similar to what we had back home,
Okay.
but they aren't from there.
Of course.
Similar.
Okay.
Um,
Grabbing some drinks,
Yep.
heading down to the brig. You get to the brig, doors open up. You see Cade arguing with security officer. Chief, wait, you want me to put you in the brig? I can't just put you in the
Captain's
brig.
orders.
Captain did. I didn't get any orders
Put
from
him in the
the
brig.
Oh, Captain. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry I didn't alert you.
I did. There, Chief.
If I can get a ball or something, that'd be great. Thank you.
Leave the security gate down.
Okay. Do I need to get him a ball?
No.
Okay.
I hand you
You're no better than the Klingons.
I hand you one of the ales, and then I sit outside of the.
I take the coat off, kind of fold it up, and just like make a little makeshift pillow against the wall, and just kind of.
Just a few minutes ago, I had to make a speech about what makes Starfleet so worthwhile.
Seems like you have to do that a lot.
Starfleet is a confusing beast.
On that, we can definitely agree.
What I said was Starfleet is populated by people from different planets with different values and different cultures, different experiences. And all of those come together. And in the crucible of exploration and danger, somehow all these disparate elements come together, resulting in many times the best choice. I want you to hold to your beliefs. I don't want you to compromise who you are or what you believe in. But there are times when I give you an order and I need you to follow it. There are times when I give you an order and I need you to follow it.
He sits there, talking from behind the face of a woman he has been living inside of, manipulating, forcing his will upon since she was a kid. And he talks about how Starfleet can't be trusted. The same man who, even before he was strong-armed into this position, worked for a people, a government, who actively try to destroy everything you believe in, everything you and your people have worked for. I was being honest with him about my feelings to reinforce the fact that there is nothing I could do along those lines. It is still his Antishek's best hope. And to sit there and watch all of you try to ameliorate Raul's killer, to talk about his wants and his comforts when we're already bending over backwards to save him, to save his family. And I have no problem with that. I wouldn't feel too terribly bad if we got news that they had been killed by the Tal-Shiar. I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm also not going to take active measures to bring about their demise. They're innocent of his actions, even if they're probably guilty of dozens of others. As long as he is inside her, she is my patient and my responsibility and my care. And if I can't be trusted to do that because of his word, if you're still thinking like a diplomat, Newman, making treaties, trying to come to the best accord and compromises, and sometimes being a leader means upsetting the bad guy. It wasn't my intent, but I'm also not going to weep over it if he feels he can't trust me. The thing I will weep over, the thing that gives me pause, the thing that sends me down here, is the fact that after everything we've been through these past few weeks, you and I in particular, you've seen my skill and my ability up close. And yet, in that room, even if it was just for show, you didn't trust me. Which is entirely your prerogative, and you're entirely within your authority to do so. And I will serve at your pleasure and under your command, and I do believe in this ship and this crew. But if I can't be trusted to care for my patients, to run my sick bay, to practice medicine to the best of my ability, to the best of this crew's care, then I think the best thing right now is for me to step down as CMO. And I don't know if you need to break my rank down for that. I definitely think you should give George a promotion and give him the job, especially if he's going to be tending to their care from now on. He helped me put together the research. He knows the program well enough, so any tweaks you need to make to fulfill the conditions of your treaty with Slethus, he'll be the best man for that job. And I will gladly and proudly work under him and continue to serve this crew in that capacity. But if I'm chief, it's not a la carte medicine. It's not picking and choosing which ones I care for. I care for them all. And if you can't trust me to do that, then it does not affect my loyalty to you as captain of this ship. It does not affect my feelings towards you as a friend. But this is the only way I see that working.
Well, you care for them all. Can you care for the prisoners, the villains? those who, in the course of battle with us, may get injured and brought to your sick bay.
While they're under my care, yeah,
So that is
I may. My point was, I may wish to beam him out. I may wish it with every fiber of my being. I don't think it's a fate good enough for him. But I believe and I've seen that all life is brief and precious and harsh. And if there's anything in my power and under your command to protect and preserve it, I will do that. I won't sugarcoat my feelings. I may not always have the best bedside manner when I'm having to treat a murderer, terrorist, lackey of tyrants and such. But I do my damn job. And if I can't be counted upon to do that, well then.
You know, I'm doing my damn job here too. This situation is untenable. It's brutal to the mind, to the emotions. I don't want to talk with someone who killed the captain. I don't want to talk to a saboteur. I don't want to talk to someone who would manipulate a 14-year-old Vulcan girl. But the situation is, he needs us. We need him. And I hate it. I hate it. You understand?
I agree with half of that statement. I don't think, or at least we don't need him nearly as much as he needs us. And so I think you have a certain training and you're good at it and you're falling back on that in this hard time. And I think sometimes you put the diplomat gloves away and you put the command gauntlets on.
He's going to kill Tashek. Don't you see? Don't you see?
Not if I can save them. He'll still be him. He'll still be intact. If I can find a way, he'll still be able to perceive and communicate. He'll still have an existence that we can then confer and then hopefully hold him to some kind of justice. But if you honestly think that I'm going to do anything to harm him, especially while he's in Tashek, who, it should be noted, I don't get along with particularly well with either. I was the one who accused the both of them in the first place. My concern is their care, and their best care, and their best hope for long-term care.
Well, as it stands, we're going to monitor the situation and see if Tashek and her Vulcan mind can keep the wall up, but a door between the two. It's not ideal by any stretch. It's not. But if we shut him off, or make him think he's going to be imprisoned in a dark void, we can't get anything. And I know you feel the situation is more on our side than his, but we still need him. And never mind.
There are ways, if you want the treatment adjusted to allow him some measure. I mean, as I'm monitoring things, I can adjust accordingly. But you tell me that. He doesn't tell me that. He doesn't demand that from me or from you or from anyone on this ship. If that's what you want for him and for Tashek, if that's what Tashek wants, then I will go along with it.
It is what Tashek wants.
But I'm not going to have, in my sick bay, have him give me orders. Have him accuse me and disrespect me in my own place. Not on this ship. Not surrounded by the people I've sworn to care for and protect.
But you understand what that made me look like in front of him. Don't you?
Which is why I had to leave.
You had to leave. You should have left earlier. I'm sorry,
I was hoping that by being honest about my feelings, I could be more convincing about the necessity of the process, that this would be. I'm not going to coddle him or give him half-truths or anything.
I understand.
The best way to treat him is to be honest. He's a duplicitous creature by nature, and the best way to handle them is with brutal truth. By coming at them with everything in your righteous heart. He is a liar and a killer. He's been doing it for years. Even if he wasn't before, the time he spent, and he's turned Tashek into a liar and a killer.
And you embarrassed me in front of a liar and a killer. Do you see how that weakens all of us? When you make the leader look like a fool, like someone who can't control the people underneath them? I want your opinions, but please have some decorum. Think about the situation. You can always yell directly at me whenever you want when it's you and me. You can throw things at me. You can pick me up and throw me on a table. I don't care. I've been thrown around my whole life. But you cannot embarrass me like that in front of someone who's so duplicitous and deceitful.
That wasn't my intent.
Well, it's what you did. I'm sorry. It's what you did. And that's why I was so angry. It's because you made me look like a fool. In a place where I cannot look like a fool. In front of someone I cannot look like a fool in front of. Do you understand?
Absolutely.
Any other time.
Because that's how I felt. I felt like you tore me down in front of him in a time when you should have supported me and built me up to be the person for the job. I was just another condition to be negotiated. I was just another underling to be hushed. And I'm sorry if I overreacted to that.
I probably could have.
I hope you know I do respect you better than that. And maybe maybe about it. We need to work on our communication, at least in front of enemy agents.
Yes, I would say so.
I think I'm still maybe used to thinking of you as the guy down on the ground with us in the thick of things in the away team.
Not that I was
the guy who stripped off his shirt and showed off his tats to throw off an Orion pirate. The guy who resisted extreme pheromone mind control.
I did my best. I would have rather negotiated my way out of that situation too.
I mean, that was kind of what you did.
I weaved and I dodged and I ducked. It's
That's-
not quite the same. Well,
I can assign Jorsh to handle Tashek's care. And he will report to me. I will report to you. We will present our findings and adjust the treatment accordingly, but he will take point.
agreed.
And I will work on my decorum.
It is, to be honest, one of the most irritating things about Starfleet. And one of the many reasons I wanted on a ship.
I think maybe I'm still used to being in the trenches and busting each other's balls.
Well, there was no negotiation there.
No.
There was no negotiating with that enemy at that time. And the negotiations that have happened since have been distasteful at best. They usually are. They usually are. Everyone loses. Everyone loses. Well, you can stay in there as long as you like.
You're in a position to do something better with it now.
I'm gonna try. I just keep getting put in some of the worst situations.
Regardless of any shouting or disagreements or anything, I do always have your back.
And I do still want you to be a chief medical officer. And I do want us to start thinking about finding Jorsh another command, another ship. It seems like he may be CMO. He deserves to be CMO of a ship somewhere, sooner or later.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I'd hate to lose him.
Agreed, but promotions are due.
Have you... He may not seem a perfect fit, given his default temperament at times, but he's actually got a lot of training and practice and, honestly, attitudes and approaches that would make a really good ship's counselor. Just if you're curious about my recommendations.
Interesting. I'll have to review his files a bit more.
I'll put together a formal report if you like.
Well, I should get up the bridge. Is that for me?
It's for you.
Well, I'll take that.
Stay right here if you want. Yeah. Captain, we're approaching Starbase 105.
All right. Hail them.
Yes, Captain, hailing.
On my way to the bridge.
With that, we're going to take a halfway break. Take a little bio break, guys. We'll be back in just a minute, y'all.
That was some emotional stuff.
So good.
Okay, and we're back. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for sticking
George Shorts.
George Shorts. We're going to do an entire new series of nothing but like George Shorts. George. It's hard to say.
George Shorts.
A nice pair of
But
George
it's fun to
shorts.
sing.
Kind of like Dr. Katz.
George
but-
Shorts.
Kind of like Dr. Katz.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, except it's George. I like it. Okay.
And the crew of the Mazu.
So, Captain Newman, you get back to the bridge, and Lieutenant Rayla is steering you into holding position outside of Starbase 105. What's next?
What are we doing here? Oh, we need to investigate.
Why are we here?
This has been a little while. We gotta investigate this ship.
It's been the longest 2-hour trip ever.
Because this was the last place that.
This is the last
Right.
place. Yeah, so you, as a reminder, you went to 105 because you got a lead from your daughter that they were seen at 105. You went to 105, you did a bunch of research, you found out that 2 people transported onto the base from a runabout. One of them was the Benzite Mendron,
Right.
who signed
Mendel.
up with. Sorry, yes.
Only because I did it earlier. Wasn't
Right.
ready for it.
That guy.
Everyone gets one.
I only get one? Oh, crap.
Hey, you're the one that named 2
I
NPCs
know.
that close.
Oops.
Mendeldron.
He showed up. He signed up, or he paid a Ferengi captain to take them to Hearth. The other one, the Andorian, came onto Starbase 105, and
Sorry.
somebody let a
Big
bug.
green bug.
Came into Starbase 105, went down to the promenade area, and sat down and had lunch.
Yep.
A very significant lunch.
But then they came back? Is that what we think, that they came back?
Came back where?
So we know that
Let's see what you're saying. Go ahead.
we know that Mendel went to Hearth, got in trouble, and then came back with the Ferengi to 105, and then from there they left.
Yes.
So that is the last known location of the runabout with those 3 people on it. Because I think we're still pretty sure they're all in one. That's our best guess. Because what I told her to keep an eye out for was reports of a runabout.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody really let in a big green bug.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, y'all can't see it.
Turn to,
but it's just like,
It's our new transportation chief
Yes.
running the
Yeah.
transporter.
All right. Well, we'll go over to the we all of us will go over to the Starbase 105.
okay, so you're going to beam over to 105. You're on 105.
My
now
first starbase.
What? Ooh, this is exciting.
Yeah. The Shek's there too.
I'm there. Do I have my collar, my
we
shot
have
collar?
Oh, yeah, we'll say that we've got kind of like, we'll call this like a first generation, kind of bulky, really ugly, but you can kind of wear it. It kind of sits on your head. There's going to be a
gonna
little power
impede
back
my
on
movement?
the side. Not a lot.
Oh, it's a big old piece of headgear.
Big old piece of headgear right
It
now.
goes into your teeth like.
You're not gonna be able to.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to lick your stitches.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
For right
I
now.
want to kind of dress it up to look like a normal piece of medical equipment, like a really weird neck brace.
You can try, but it's going to take a little bit. This one's going to be ugly.
Can I ask a question?
Sorry.
Since we know this before, is this going to be a problem if people see me with this, blowing a cover?
No.
No,
That's
because
fine.
we'll just
Okay.
have to say that that's part of the method that we're using to.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because y'all sent that off. Okay, so you're
Am
on
I-
105.
Did I get brought along on this, or
I don't know. Is he still in the brig?
It's up to
Yeah.
him.
I mean,
I
I'm
said
not
you-
gonna if they're not bringing me a ball and I'm done with my beer, then
Yeah.
So you're
All
definitely
right.
not bringing a ball.
Yeah. Come
Yeah.
on.
All right.
Come on.
all right. But I'm keeping my distance from her.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make sure that I'm physically between the 2 of them as much as possible. I'm not gonna make a thing of it. I just would like to be between the 2 of them.
That's
well, I'm
fair.
at the total
Yeah.
opposite end of.
I
so
don't
you
expect
could
it to be hard
anywhere.
because he seems to have figured out
Oh yeah,
that he needs to not be.
he
there.
clearly understands that. All right, so you're 105.
I
What's next?
understand that. I don't.
I'm gonna go visit the security officer.
Yeah.
It's Commander Brisk.
You can go talk to Kiddo, right?
She's not.
Oh,
on
she's
this
not.
one.
I
She's
said
on
another one.
station.
Okay, never mind. All right, yeah, let's go meet the.
Okay, heading over to Commander Brisk. You head over to the CSO's office, and they're in there. Captain.
Hello, Chief Security Officer.
Very formal. Can I help you, Captain?
Apologies.
We are in pursuit of a runabout.
Yes, yeah, you mentioned.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Any updates on that? Maybe last we heard it had returned to this location.
Well, last you heard, I told you it left.
Ah.
Have they come back?
No.
Okay.
Were we expecting them to come back?
We weren't
No,
sure.
we were just. This is the last known location. I was just seeing if there were any updates on.
I mean, didn't know I was supposed to keep an eye out.
No, I mean, I wasn't. If you had seen them, I assume you would have alerted me.
Was I supposed to?
I would. Yes.
Oh, I was not aware that that was a thing. Here, let me put that in my notes of things to keep doing. Notify captain if runabout shows up. Got it.
Thank you.
Sure.
So we already got all the information we could get from this place, didn't we?
So did we see all of? Did we account for all of that guy's time on the station?
Shaw.
Yeah, all of Shaw's.
I think we did.
As much as was videoed, at least.
Yeah.
Could we
We didn't talk to anyone who he may have.
possibly? Oh, this is going to sound just the most idiotic. Could we possibly see the security footage from the surrounding areas when he was here? I realized there was a whole thing with the sandwich last time, but this is the level we're at now.
Mm-hmm.
We need information and there is none.
Okay.
Can we just get that too?
Hey, knock yourself out. You know
We
what?
require the sandwich information.
We
Knock
already
yourself
have the
out.
sandwich information. We
There's
need-
a station right
There's
over
a
there.
well-known spycraft technique
I'm just
to use.
oh great, I can pull it myself.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna pull it
Great.
myself so you don't even have to deal with it.
Sounds
I'm
great.
gonna do that.
You just pull up all
I'm gonna
that
pull like
surrounding-
literally just as much as I can from that entire time period. I'm gonna
Great.
try to pull up.
Yep,
And
all
I'm
right.
probably gonna end up spending a lot of time staring at a monitor.
Has
later.
anyone else come in here asking about that ship and those people?
No. Just you.
Was there someone that one of them interacted with that
I
we
don't know you.
didn't?
new.
He's new.
Yeah. Are you Starfleet?
I am now.
Are you familiar with the planet Hearth?
Vaguely.
He's one of them. He's from there.
Great.
Cool, huh?
That station's waiting on you.
Cool.
Yep.
I'm literally just gonna pull a chunk of all the security files from
There-
that day.
yep.
Just
Giving you access.
putting it all on a drive.
There you go.
Take back with me.
I lean into Captain and I was like, I wonder how good their brig is because I'm about to punch this guy in the face.
Was there someone else that we saw that one of them interacted with that wasn't on station the last time we were here?
That sounds familiar.
I think that happened.
Hey, how long ago was that?
Hey, 105.
Technically, only a few days.
20 episodes ago.
Yes.
Oh, no,
Or
that was the
2
first time we
days.
tried to go to 105 and got a mine instead.
Enemy mine.
Farah?
Yeah, there was a Commander Farah that was talked to.
Commander.
Oh, wait, that was the Ferengi.
Yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
was
Commander
another
Farah was
Yaza.
A merchant.
Yaza was the
Oh
first.
yeah, they went shopping.
They went shopping. Oh, hold on. No, I was wrong. Yaza was the Ferengi.
Yes.
Farah was someone else.
Oh, was the retired Starfleet person?
Sounds like, yeah.
Yeah. So
And then the other guy, the Andorian, he, just a reminder, he ate, bought some like supplies, some foodstuffs, and that's pretty much it.
okay, so he did talk to a merchant
Yeah.
and then wandered and then left the base. So that merchant wasn't there at the time, and that's who we want to see. So is Commander Farah on board now?
Oh, you're asking. Let me check my logs.
Beep boop boop beep boop boop.
Feeling all right,
Walter.
Captain?
I like noises.
Captain, they're not used to
Everything needs a noise.
your onomatopoetic ways.
Okay, I'll stop. I'm sorry, everyone. That disrespected Starfleet.
Yeah, Farah came back on station. They're in the regular position on the promenade.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yep. Are you done?
She's not done.
You're not?
No, I just grabbed all this.
Okay, yes.
I just grabbed a chunk of data, and I'm going to take it with
Oh,
me.
you're gonna take? Oh.
I'm taking it to go. Is that okay?
Yeah. You know what?
I don't want to take up your console time.
I like it. You just take that to go.
Great.
You just take that to go.
Great. And I'm going.
Thank you, Chief Security Officer.
Welcome, Captain.
And we'll all head over to the bridge. No.
Promenade.
Promenade. We'll all promenade.
Head over to the promenade, and you do know the station where this pharaoh was. And it's open, sitting there, minding his own business, selling things.
And you are Farah?
Yes, I am.
Hello.
Hello.
So,
Do we? I should have a picture of Shawl, right?
Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull that up.
Okay.
Do you remember this gentleman?
It looks familiar. I see a lot of Andorians.
You saw him a few days ago. How
About
long ago was that? Was it a week ago?
No, it was only a few days.
a few days ago.
Oh, actually, no. For them, it was probably a week or so. Yeah,
Yeah.
a few days since you guys got there.
We were there a
You
few
saw him
days
about a
ago.
week ago.
Sure. I see a lot of people.
So you don't remember? by
He had a
any chance
sandwich.
What you talked about? He may not have had the sandwich on him at the time.
Okay. I don't remember an Andorian with a sandwich.
But you do remember this Andorian.
Sure. Yeah, I think so.
Any possible chance you remember what you spoke to him about?
He came in here.
Yes.
Yeah, so?
Well, I probably spoke to him about buying some food.
Any chance you could look at your records and see what he bought?
Can I ask what this is about?
I mean,
It's an official Starfleet investigation. This is a person of interest.
he's a person of interest.
Wow.
Everybody all together now. He's a person of interest.
I just
If we weren't
don't.
in front of people right now, I would high five you so hard.
I mean, I don't remember the commander ever talking about a person of interest, and I don't even know who you are. I'm sorry. Who are you?
Captain Walter Newman.
Of the USS Masu.
Okay, I'd never heard of it.
Well,
I wouldn't expect you to.
Great.
but we have been given a mission which pertains to this Andorian's whereabouts.
Okay.
So we are investigating where he was, what he was up to, and who he spoke to.
Okay.
And you
the
were one of those
security
people.
records indicate that you're the only person he spoke to here.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you must have heard good things. I sell good stuff.
So I've heard.
Can stock up your ship if you want.
Perhaps.
If I look over his shoulder, what do I see? Anything interesting?
You see some exotic foodstuffs.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, some stuff that the delicatessen, or not the delicatessen. This is not a deli.
Oh, you got my hopes up.
I know, no.
This is where he got the sandwich.
We'll say
bagel with lox.
the gourmet aspect of you see a few things back there, and are like, oh,
I'm going to point at something that I haven't seen in a while that I do like, that, is probably not too expensive. And I'm going to inquire about it. Hey, is that
is that a what?
what's it called? It's,
You have to
it's
do
not a
food
dragon
techno bubble.
fruit. That's the one from Earth, but,
Oh, I'm loving this.
Oh, that's a Valerian dragon fruit, similar.
Oh, you're right. Yes. Is that
Oh, yeah.
dragon
At least
fruit?
that's what we refer to it as.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
sure.
That's what. Yeah.
It's also the local name is just a Von Dark, but yes.
Yeah, good eye. Great eye. It's very tasty too. They're in season right now.
I was gonna say it looks like it's just right.
Just right.
It'll be
Just
perfect
gotta
about 6 hours from now, probably.
Yeah, maybe. I might give it 3. These are
Yeah?
super ready to go.
All right, I'll take one of those.
Here you go. Here you go. Yeah,
Plus the credits.
oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Anything else you see back there?
Is there anything that we could use for another?
Oh, I could
Dinner?
make 5 meals out of what he's got back
Well,
there.
so-
I just don't have
Let's get in the way of beer.
What?
Beer?
alcohol.
Oh, alcohol.
No, not just alcohol.
Well, ales.
Beer.
But
Beer. I've never heard of beer.
Ale. Lager.
I don't have any Romulan ale. That's not legal.
No.
But I do have. Well, I do have some stuff over here. This is a Vendarian ale. Fluorescent green stuff. It's pretty great.
Do I recognize it?
I mean, you've heard of it. You've never had any.
We'll try it.
Yeah.
We'll try it.
Yeah.
Sell you this whole jug for quite a deal.
What kind of deal?
Go splitsies with you on it.
Yes.
You buy one, I'll buy the other.
Yes.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay, yeah.
There you
we
go.
Yeah, here, we'll do the thing. It's going to be 2 Latinum.
Yeah.
So glad.
Sure, I have
Wonderful.
some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do now.
Our discretionary
Let's say
fund.
that I grabbed my my Mad Money bag.
There
on
you
the
get your
way
mad
out.
money back. You got that. All right, yeah. So,
Oh well, if y'all are doing that, then we're also gonna need a couple of those.
get your bag here.
Of course, you got a bag. Yeah. Let's
Take this whole
say
what are you-
five of those.
Oh, Morgan, this kind of. Are we eating here or on the ship?
The ship.
Oh. I'll take a dozen of those cold watts.
Oh, done. There you go. Anything else? We good?
Do you want anything, specialist?
You have never tried any.
No, I've had none of
Spices.
this.
What do you have in the way of spices?
Oh, what do I have in the way of spices? Press this button. Spices.
Okay, I'm gonna need some pilling root,
Oop, done.
Stellanen.
Wait, are those real Bajoran spices?
I can substitute Flinknon.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Here
all
we
right.
go.
I mean, it's gonna be a little more bitter than we're used to. Let me offset that.
With that root, telic root.
Telic root.
Just a little.
You think?
I've used it in a pinch.
Okay. Well, we're gonna
It's
be
kind
using.
of like it's kind of like an old buttermilk hack that I've used.
Okay. Yeah.
Doesn't come in a pinch. It's a pretty big jar of stuff.
I mean, can you just section off a little, or is it the whole jar?
This is not the biggest demand thing I've ever got, so I'll sell you the jar.
I don't have a lot of uses for it.
All right.
How about do you have any Phillian cream?
Oh, yeah. It was, oh,
Okay, I'm gonna need that for the brine.
It's over here. Here we go.
Man, have you done it? Sterile.
Yeah.
Is it fresh? Like how fresh?
If I'm being honest. Yeah.
When did you get it in?
It's probably in about 2 weeks.
Oh, but we're eating it tonight, right? Within the next couple of. Yeah.
That's
Here we go.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, and some of that tutic fruit
Yep.
up there.
Done.
Yeah, 3 of those, please.
3 of those. Beautiful. Love it.
And like, I don't even let him reach for his pouch. I just straight up just.
I like the way you work. There you go, Commander.
Now
It's
I
all
can make
shadow.
Hasperat.
Fabulous. Thanks for your business. Appreciate you.
You really don't remember the Andorian at all.
Let me see if I can. Hold on. Pull up Pazers.
Man, I gotta remember this guy. I haven't seen this kind of selection.
He's got
of any of
everything.
He may not have
there's,
been.
there's an Andorian that showed up about a week or so ago.
What was
He-
the name?
What was his name? I didn't actually catch his name.
You didn't catch his name? That's
No.
alright.
Was he
I
by
just remember
himself?
him. Yeah, he was by himself.
Okay.
I just remember him because he bought a lot. Actually, it looked like he was stocking up.
Oh,
He
okay.
bought a lot,
What,
so he spent a decent amount of money.
what did he buy?
Just a lot of food, spices, nothing really exotic. A lot of really boring stuff, but it's stuff that would last.
Yeah,
You
I was
know?
gonna say non-perishable kind of things.
Yeah.
Stocking up for a long
Look
haul.
like, yeah, but he stocked up. Yeah, that's all I know.
You didn't mention anything about what kind of climate he might be heading towards or what area. Sometimes people talk. And you seem like a friendly sort.
Thanks. I try, but not really. He was pretty matter of fact. He came in. He spent forever just staring at stuff. I tried to talk to him a few times because I'm thinking about it. He just stood there forever. Then he finally bought a bunch of stuff. Anything else? Wonderful
That's
seeing
all
you
you
all here.
remember.
I mean, I don't know what else to remember. The guy came in, stood in front of my stall for a good half an hour before he even bought anything.
And the fact you remembered that much after a week, I commend you.
Thank you.
And he didn't do anything. He just stood there.
Well, he looked at stuff.
He looked at your stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't like looking somewhere else.
No, he was looking at this stuff. He just kind of paced back and forth around. Every once in a while, he would kind of check the time. I don't know.
Is there any? I realize you're probably widely acclaimed. Is there anyone in particular who might have recommended you to him, or did he drop anyone's name who said he should stop by here in particular?
No, he really just came in and said, "I'll take that, and we left.
All right.
Do you know the name Prescott?
Prescott? No. Should I?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
I'm
not.
just trying to think of who might have.
What about Mendel?
Mendel? Not off the top of my head.
You didn't happen to see the Bajoran meet with anyone else?
Andorian.
Any of the Andorian?
Andorian.
No, he came in, stood in front of my stall for probably 30 minutes, bought stuff, left.
Alright.
When 8 came here, stared for 30 minutes, bought goods, left.
I've got an idea for some things to check on those security records when we get back.
Okay.
Anything else, y'all? Come back anytime.
How frequently are you here? Because I will be back.
You know, I'm here most of the time unless I have to go off world.
Okay,
But,
so you
you
just
know,
go to resupply and then come back.
Pretty much if I've got a special deal. Where do you think I got
Fantastic.
the fruit? I'm just saying.
Any chance you do shipments?
Let's talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, is there? What's the equivalent of a
Sure.
Starfleet person giving a card?
We'll be in touch.
Yeah.
Be in touch. Let's do that. For sure.
Yeah, I'm the chief engineer on the Mazu. If you hear from
Noted.
me,
The
that's me.
Mazu. Got it. Let me write that down. Nice doing business with you
It's
all.
hard finding the right ingredients for things sometimes.
It
you
is.
know?
We're out in the middle of nowhere too, but
It's a whole galaxy.
Trying to
anywhere around
replicate
here is
everything.
me.
So
Replicate. Don't even insult the
Not
replication.
worth it.
The worst. Now what?
Thank you much, sir.
You're welcome.
I don't know. I never know what to do in these investigations.
Now let's go haggle with other merchants.
That's what I love about this game. 1 minute we're having like these big, intense discussions about morals and everything, and next you're like, I want
You-
that fancy spice I never heard
Give
of.
Izzy the chance to talk food, and
Yeah.
things are gonna go that
Talk.
way.
I was literally about to be it's like, no, we don't understand. Ooh, is that?
All right. Yeah. So
They're stocking up on non-perishables.
So if he was
They
checking,
weren't relying on replicator goods for.
my thought is he was waiting for a specific time. That may have been a signal to someone, and then
I believe he was just waiting for the Mendel to return.
he may have been waiting for Mendel to return. So,
Does that timeline match up?
well, we
Given
can
what
go
we
back
know.
and check the records and see.
Well, you have the
Yes,
data chunk
exactly.
there.
So I would like to. Do we have any more business on the station?
I mean, if
I don't know.
If Prescott herself didn't step foot on the station, then I think we've.
How confident are we that she didn't set foot on the station? Did we check for
15%.
her,
there were
Well, the
no
first time
records.
around, we
or-
yeah.
Huh?
There were no records of any other. There were 2 people that transported over from the runabout that were in the records that they went through. So
Okay.
talking to their CSO and everything, there were 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is there anything
We got
else
that
of
pretty
interest
definitively last
that's
time.
within the sight line of his store?
Yeah.
Bunch of other
What's
stores. You want some clothes? There's a tailor.
it's what's
Nothing.
within what's
Maybe a nice
within sight?
frill for
Is
your.
is
Oh,
did the
dress
friend
it up?
have a stall on the
No.
promenade? So he was he just was operating out of one of the.
Yeah, he just had his
hangars?
ship. He was just around.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to go back to the Mazu, review all those records, and basically try to set up a timeline
Mhm.
for each of them, see what happens at that time, see,
And-
see if anything corresponds to that time for Shawl.
Okay.
And from the first time we were here, we did get like a trajectory
Yeah.
of their leaving. That's where we got the Shackleton
Yeah.
expanse. Right?
Yeah, that's where you started.
Okay. All right. So we know
Where they were.
roughly the direction, at least, that they started out in when they left here.
Mm-hmm.
as we're putting together the timeline.
Yeah,
And then I guess we should just go in that direction.
I think so.
Yep.
Head back to the Mazu.
Yeah.
Back to the Mazu. Coming back on the bridge. What's the order, Captain?
Set a course. To check.
To Shackleton Expanse?
Yes.
Do you want to head to
Right.
Shackleton Expanse or the starbase there? You want to head there? You want to head to the nearest starbase?
We'll swing by the starbase first, because
Yeah, we should try some of the places that are in between
Along the way,
first,
yeah.
364 is the big one that's in that area right now. So Starbase 364 is right on the edge.
Yes, we're gonna go.
All right, Starbase 364 it is. Course set in. Engage.
That's the Narendra station, which is nowhere near Narendra itself.
It's a ways.
It's a ways.
Off. But there's nothing between here and there that we should run into.
I mean, there's stuff, but
It's just
So
the border.
I
with
guess
Klingons.
Okay.
recommend Warp 8.
Agreed.
Warp 8 it
Gonna
is.
say that. I was just gonna say
Shabam. It's a hike, so it's gonna take a while to get there.
Yeah.
In that time, you want to do the research on the
Yes,
stuff real quick? What are you
please.
trying to find exactly?
So basically, I want to specifically map out the path of each of them with
Okay.
timelines,
Okay.
and then look at what happened around the time that he actually bought all the stuff.
Okay. Let's go with. Let's do reason and security. Give me difficulty 1.
Reason and security.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go ahead and buy a die just in case. Ah, 2.
2. Yourself on momentum. Okay, so you were able to go through these security logs and meticulously over several many hours, you go through all of the footage you have, all of the logs you were able to get that the CSO gave you over there. You found out that the Andorian beamed over, the Benzite beamed over, separate times, but not too far apart from each other. The Benzite made the deal with the Ferengi and took off. Meanwhile, the Andorian sat down on the promenade, had a sandwich, hung out, wandered around looking around aimlessly, went to the food stall, stood in front of the food stall for about 60 minutes. Stood there back and forth, then eventually bought a bunch of stuff from the guy, took it all back, transported back to the runabout. A day later, Benzite comes back on the Ferengi ship, beams back down, heads back to the runabout. Runabout departs.
Okay, so given that that's how the timeline shakes out, I want to just sort of peruse what else was happening first in that general area of the station at about that same time. See if there's anything that looks interesting, and if there's nothing in the general area, then I will expand the search further.
Okay. Okay, let's do a reason and security check again. Difficulty 1.
Reason security? 1.
Okay. As you're going over the data, you hear George's voice behind you. What are you doing?
I'm trying to figure out why this guy did this thing at this time.
Oh, what do you do?
He bought a bunch of food, but he hung out for a long time,
Okay.
and then just very suddenly bought a whole pile of food. And
Oh, that
So I'm trying
sounds
to-
suspicious.
well, he wasn't doing anything,
I know.
so I'm trying to figure out what changed that made him want to do it.
This is the guy we've been looking for, right?
One of them.
Oh. I think you're thinking about this too hard, Commander. Got this thing ready.
Is that Mark II?
Version 2.
Excellent. Is it less horrifically
It's a little nice. I think you could actually wear this as a nice band.
a nice little band?
It does have something that hooks around back here.
But that'll hide in the hair.
It'll hide in the hair. It should be
That's
fine,
much
yeah. But
more
it's a nice little. I
it's a
think
lot
they'll
more
like
subtle.
it. Yeah, I made it in a rose gold finish. I figured that would work with her
It
complexion.
really is going to go well with her palette.
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
I walk up and approach the both of you. Like, hey, what's going on?
Well, he made a better version of the thing, and I'm... Honest to God, I'm watching security footage of a man shopping for produce.
You're watching footage. He's visible the entire time?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just out there. Do you see anything that looks...
Yeah, I see a guy who wants to be seen. It's easy to get yourself lost on a starbase. If you wanted to avoid cameras,
Yeah.
if you wanted to avoid attention, it's easy enough. The fact that he's
Do you think he's
on
distracted
camera
from
the whole
someone else
time?
being there?
I think he's maybe laying out some breadcrumbs.
Did I see anything of any interest at all in the surrounding? It just looks like just life as usual.
It's life on Starbase 105.
It's just a breadcrumb.
I think so.
Well, I would say I have nothing better to do, but I actually do have something better to do, so maybe I'll go do that. But we should get to shut down here for that new device first.
I agree, Commander.
Before she comes down, because I should be gone before then, I wanted to go over any tweaks we need to make to the regimen with the captain's new Slethis-friendly guidelines.
Sure.
I just wanted to be sure before we started.
Yeah, I saw what you wanted to do. Yep.
Made the adjustments already?
Took care of it.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. In that case, I have nothing to do now.
Man, you need anything from me?
No, we just need to get that thing on to Shek. Do you need my help for that, or should
No, I got it.
All right. Just call her down.
Are we doing tonight, or?
How long is it going to be till we get to...
You got days.
Might as well.
Yeah.
By the way, I pull out one of the fruits that I think George will like and hand it to him.
Oh, Commander. How'd you
There's
know?
a guy on 105.
105?
I know, but he's got some of the best produce selection I have seen.
Noted.
Fresh
Great,
filling
thank
cream,
you.
too. I'm making good hasperat tonight. I need to get started on the brine, though, so...
Yeah.
You know where I am if you need me.
I won't.
Chief Medic out.
All right. My place, end of shift plus 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah?
Oh, am I invited?
Yeah.
I think I'll pass things. Great, I'm gonna pass, Commander. Appreciate the invite, though.
Sure?
Oh, I'm very sure.
You want me to scoop up any leftovers for you? Bring it in
Bring
for
us
morning
in
shift?
after
No, I think you're fine. Good, Commander. You need anything else, I'm gonna go down and take care of this to Shek.
that? All right.
Thank you much, Commander. George takes off.
Did he seem
Not okay?
gruffer with...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was he that way before I got here?
I don't think so. I mean, he was kind of trying to tell me I was wasting my time, but other than that...
I mean, yeah, because he's just a guy. He's observant.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Yeah. After shift.
after shift. And I am going to... I guess first I'll go to the bridge. 'Cause is that where Newman is?
Yep, usually.
Yeah. I'll go to the bridge.
These days.
Okay, heading to the bridge. What are you doing in all this, Dion?
Really good question.
In astrometrics?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you weren't just sitting at the science station and just doing like a deep dive, like basically, you know, when you sit down and just read Wikipedia,
That's pretty much what I
That's
assume I'm
kind of
always
what
doing
I'm expecting.
when I'm not doing a
because
specific
you
thing.
have so much information at your fingertips.
No,
right now.
exactly. So I'm pretty like just.
Are you
kid
at the
in a
science station
candy
on the
store.
bridge?
Yeah. I think that's where I should be.
Well, yeah, you're a science
that's
officer.
What were your specific fields of study?
Mainly science and security. Oh, you
Specific
mean?
scientific fields.
Well, I'm done a lot of studying anthropology, linguistics, xenobiology.
As I walk on the bridge and I see you there reading things, I'm just gonna lean over and say, you should absolutely check out the file on the ruins on Della. I think you will find it fascinating.
Don't tell her. This is a rabbit hole I'll go down.
They're endless.
While all this was happening, I was on the bridge before I got called for my new headgear.
Okay.
For your fitting.
Could I have been researching where we're headed to, the planets that are maybe in that system?
Sure. The Narendra, the Shackleton Expanse is a big thing. It is an expanse. It is largely unexplored.
Okay.
The one thing, there are a few planets that are in there. There's a joint Klingon Federation starbase, which is 364 that you're headed to. That's kind of the base of operations. There's a small flotilla of 3 ships, Federation ships that are based there at all times.
Okay.
Focus on exploration. Specific planets and everything, there's not a lot 'cause it's still mostly uncharted.
Okay.
It is very difficult to navigate though, so get ready.
Would the fact that is Mendel the Benside or the Dorian?
Wait, why is it difficult to net?
Mendel
Just because it's
is the
uncharted?
Benside. So the
No, there's
Bensides
a
are both
lot of
men something?
phenomenon and astrometric things, anomalies in the area that make it very difficult to fly through.
That's all right.
And then
I'm
Dorian-
confident in my abilities.
You can fly ship.
Slan Charybdis.
Would the fact that Mendel had been in the Kindred, do I think that would allow me any chance of like scanning? Would he have any kind of unique energy signature I could scan for from being in presence of the crystal in the Kindred?
Not really.
Not enough.
Especially because he
No.
didn't make it down into the...
Not really. Yeah, he was just in the Kindred itself, and everybody on Hearth's been in the Kindred. Well, not everybody, but that's not unusual per se. The Kindred's not where all the magic happens, if you will. Okay, anything else we want to do? Putting on your little thing.
Like-
It's a nice little thing. It
You
looks
made
like
it rose gold. It matches my earrings.
perfect. See, I thought you'd like it. I
Thank you.
thought you'd like it. You're very welcome.
I do feel like I was getting stared at on the Starbase.
Yeah, I apologize for the first thing. Me and the chief, we had to rush that one through. But hey, it's something else. You notice the thing on the back that goes around your ear? Thing on there? If you push that button, you can change the color of the light. Whatever your mood is.
Oh,
Red, blue.
how does blue look?
It's blue, it's gray, it looks great. So whatever you're
Well,
you know.
my mood's always.
blue. That's all right. If you ever want to change it, I mean, I don't know if it matches your outfit, but I don't know. I just thought it would be nice. Yeah. I have an aesthetic
It was
streak.
a nice thought.
Thank you. I know you're Vulcan, but I'm artistic at heart, okay? It's a thing. Anything else? Lieutenant,
I'm going back to the bridge.
good luck.
Oh boy.
George Crushed. I just find you going to tell you that it really looks like the man just stood around the station for a while, and that it looked more like just a visual breadcrumb than. I honestly, I think he was waiting on his partner, and Cade seems to think he just wanted to be seen, which seems like a good insight to me. So,
For what purpose?
well,
That's the question, I guess.
yeah.
Sorry, I should have offered up a possible solution.
Well, not necessarily, but it is something to consider going forward.
He must have needed to be seen for a reason.
Oh, I'm sure. I don't know if it was a distraction while Mendel was causing trouble on Hearth, or if it was for some other purpose.
I mean, how could it be a distraction from Mendel? Mendel left his own breadcrumbs.
That
and
he
was
did.
able to be found fairly easily.
But
to
at least
minor
that way
amount of
he was
investigation.
highly visible on the station while Mendel was on Hearth.
He would only be distracting from something else going on in the station, and the security camera should have picked that up. There was no other suspicious activity on the station.
I mean, I haven't reviewed all of the footage yet, but I guess it's possible.
I hate to tell you to keep staring at 3 hours of footage over and over again from different angles.
There's nothing there.
I seriously doubt I'm gonna find anything though.
Well, I also doubt it.
Is he tapping or doing some kind of like secret coded message with his steps?
No, there is no code in the sandwich.
What kind of sandwich?
I
was
realize
he
that we've all gone a little crazy, but it's just not. Sometimes
well-known
Looking for
technique
any
is
little
Minecraft.
crumb or
I
two.
mean, it
Literally.
felt a little bit like we've been left breadcrumbs before, so it seems like maybe what we're doing is the next thing we need to do.
Agreed. I wish there was more we could get from this, but it seems like he stood around, possibly to be looked at, and possibly because he just
We
stood around.
Do you know that he appeared to be stocking up for a long haul away from other resources?
Don't know why he wasted so much time standing around doing nothing when he needed to buy something. Unless they figured they needed to make a quick escape. Considering what they did do on Hoth, maybe it was just get ready to go. Or maybe he didn't know what happened on Hoth.
The time, because we know the timeline of what happened on Hearth too, right?
Yes, he was back on the runabout before the stuff happened on Hearth.
He was back on the runabout.
Right.
Okay, so like him suddenly changing and buying stuff and going back to the ship didn't coincide with anything on Hearth either.
No.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Perhaps he bought all those supplies to make a number of sandwiches.
I mean, presumably it was for a lot of meals somewhere down the road. Sir, if I may, I've actually got a little bit of personal business I'd like to attend to. I just wanted to give you the report on this.
Are you on rotation currently?
Can I not be on rotation right now? Am I?
It's up to the captain.
Yeah, I mean,
Am I on rotation right now?
I don't believe so. It seems like you're doing work off the clock.
That's sort of how I
So
operate
unlike
usually.
Well, I would suggest you take some time off, some personal time.
Fantastic. And I give you the time for the dinner, my place, 1 hour after your shift is over.
Cool. Can't wait.
You
I
can do some
love
good
dinners.
stuff. My
I
place,
love
1
dinners.
hour after shift.
It's been established that I love dinners.
And
You get to try that weird
does
Asian-
Tishek come back on the bridge while I'm up there?
Yeah.
Okay. And,
Look. It's red now.
oh, he's an artist, isn't he? Oh, what a guy.
Yellow.
Hey,
Does it change colors?
Green.
how did he seem to you?
He had an odd look on his face, but he seemed
Odd in what way?
all right. I'm not very good at...
Smiling.
I mean, he seemed fine to me.
Okay.
He was very excited about his artwork.
It does look great. He clearly put a lot of effort into that. I appreciate it.
Not that I'm at all casting any aspersions on anyone, but just with all that has happened on the ship and just out of pure security, it seems it's always good to have a second check on each other's work and such when it involves.
Has Cade inspected this?
Yes, has anyone?
Kate inspected it, right?
Has anyone?
No.
Someone else
He
should
probably
take a look
should
at
have
I'm being
inspected
kept
it.
directly out of
Yeah,
the loop.
I'll pull out my tricorder and take a look at it.
And again, not to say Josh is up to anything, but just
Let's do
So
a
that
reason
doesn't
to
trust
check.
me, so I don't get to
Difficulty
do direct
zero.
work.
That's right. That's exactly right. You nailed it.
The stinky Romulan doesn't trust your friend, so
2.
Okay. All seems fine. Everything seems in working order.
And you said difficulty was 0?
Difficulty 0, yes. Yeah, you don't see anything in there that would cause concern.
Yeah, it looks like it's functioning as
Yeah,
expected.
as intended. Just basically the same design that you and George got into the first time, but just a little smaller and more streamlined.
All right. Yeah, seems to check out. You'll let us know if there's any problems.
If
If you
I will, if I am
you start
able.
to smell trouble, let your escort know.
or toast.
You smell toast.
Smell toast. Let George know.
I might ask him to add a purple.
There's no purple? I'll take
Oh.
time.
This dude is terrible.
I hate it.
I thought he was an artist.
What a worthless.
What were the final
George hates
rules
purple.
on her basically like house arrest situation? Is she like completely just locked down?
No, I mean, she's part of the crew. If I'm getting this right, she was part of the crew. When she's off duty, she'd go down to her quarters and do whatever work she needed to do, but there would be a security detail outside
Yeah.
her quarters.
And then if she needs to go somewhere, security will go with her.
Yeah.
But it's got to be one of those things where it's like, I absolutely need to go do this. I can't do this in my quarters. I need to be at XYZ.
Yeah. So when she's on duty, she's regular person. When she's off duty, she's got a security escort everywhere she goes.
Captain,
Yes.
would you be okay with that? Can Tashek come over for dinner tonight?
Certainly. Can think of no place safer.
1 hour after your shift ends, my place. Do you have any preferred foods?
I usually just eat for the energy source.
Plumixu?
Sure.
Traditional Vulcan broth?
Is the chief going to be there? Maybe we can time our entrances and exits.
Yes,
What's your
maybe.
concern? So we're still on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
When we were on the starbase, I got the impression he was uncomfortable around me.
I think he's trying to keep his distance to keep you. Feeling safe?
I will just try to maintain my distance from
Just,
him.
Well,
we're
he's-
just gonna put you on opposite ends of the
I
table.
would put it this way: he's keeping professional distance. My hope is that at a non-professional function such as a dinner, he and you can put that aside at least somewhat, and hopefully get to know each other a little bit better.
Or not, if you just like to keep it casual.
That's true.
There'll be more people there.
Yes, I will see how it goes, Captain. Thank you
Yeah.
for the invite.
I would like to swing back by sick bay on my way
Okay.
back to my quarters.
Swing by sick bay.
Is George there?
Sure, that's where he is.
Hey, George.
Hey, Commander.
Beautiful work again on that.
Thank you.
Can I call it a halo? That seems silly.
That's not silly. That's wonderful. I love it. We'll call it a halo. I can make more colors.
Can you add purple?
I can add so many
Purple.
colors.
She specifically asked for purple. And
Does she like purple?
She apparently. I don't know.
I
She
will
just
make
said that she
purple
noticed
tonight.
it didn't have purple.
Well, clearly she looked for purple. Then I will find some. We will make purple in there.
Thank you
Well, of course.
for all of this. It's been a pretty stressful few days.
Yes, Commander. That's putting it mildly. It has been, but I'm just doing my job.
Are you all right? Do you have everything you need?
Yeah, I'm in good place. Thank you much.
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay, you just seemed a little bit off earlier, and I was worried.
You don't have to worry about me, Commander.
I don't have to, but I do it anyway.
Come on, you and I, we've been in the Starfleet a long time.
I know.
Can handle it.
I know you can handle it. It's just if it's something you don't have to handle.
Well, unfortunately, I do, so I will.
Is it Kate?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Anything in particular?
Really?
Look, the list of potential things is quite long.
Yeah.
Are there a couple that we could maybe zero in on a little bit?
Commander, you got a lot to take care of. You don't have to worry about me. We don't have to talk about this. Oh, God, it's that look. It's that look. Why do you break out that look?
Because I worry.
You don't have to worry. We've been in Starfleet a long time.
If you need anything, you let me know, okay?
Sure. I won't need anything. Give me that look again. It's really disconcerting.
If you don't come to the thing tonight, I'm bringing you a doggy bag.
You can bring me a doggy bag. How's
Okay.
That sounds great.
And we picked up this really weird looking stuff, and I'm gonna bring you a little of that too, because honestly, if nothing else, we need to run it through a spectrometer, because I'm very
Not sure what it
curious.
is.
The vendor claimed it was alcoholic, but
Okay,
it
break it
was
down.
a
I'll
weird
try
shade
it.
of green.
Oh, you want to scan it first? Well, I'll scan it first, and I'll try it. How's that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, bring it down. Bring it down.
Yeah. I mean, after dinner.
Whenever.
Yeah.
Thanks for stopping by, Commander.
Purple.
Purple, I'm on it.
She loves the rose
Easy.
gold.
Easy fix. Got it.
All right. And I'm going to go back to my quarters and write 2 letters to my 2 children.
Oh, there you go. Writing letters to your children. All right, anybody else want to do anything before we call it a night?
I want to talk to George too, weirdly enough.
Me too. I don't even know him.
Come on down.
Actually, I want him to come meet me in the ready room. Or actually, my office, not my ready room, my office.
You call Jorsh up. Not too long later, he shows up. Captain.
Hello, Josh.
Hey, Captain.
Please take a seat.
Yes, sir.
I was speaking with the Chief Medical Officer, Cade McHeel.
Yes.
Glad we
His
specified.
full
It's full
title, yes.
Yes.
And we were discussing the high quality of work you've been doing on in the sick bay,
Oh.
and with the Tashek situation.
Right.
And I suggested to him that perhaps we should attempt to find a chief medical officer position on another ship.
Whoa, really?
Yes.
Oh, Captain.
Well, allow me to finish.
Okay, I apologize. Sure.
Then Cade told me that you have qualifications in counseling and psychiatry.
I may have dabbled.
Well, looking at your record here, which was impressive on its own, and then Cade added some more details through research of some high quality papers you have written,
I may have dabbled.
covering many different species and the different psychologies between.
I'm a dabbler.
This is more than dabbling, sir. This is more than dabbling.
I'm a dedicated dabbler.
Well, I think you have talents that are not being fully realized. And you may agree, you may disagree, but what I see here is someone who may be able to fill a role on this ship and get a promotion without us having to lose them to some other less worthy vessel.
Oh. Sounds like a lot of responsibility.
It's some. Mostly the responsibility has to do with privacy.
Oh, privacy?
Yes.
Oh. You want me to be a counselor?
Yes.
Oh. Sure about that, Captain?
I think it would be a unique situation,
Oh, yeah.
but I also believe that we don't have time for long, drawn-out conversations with a soft-pedaling counselor. Instead, we need someone who is a blunt, straight shooter, as they say on Earth.
Oh, Captain, I am a blunt instrument.
I know.
Well, I have to ask, since I have dabbled, is a blunt instrument what some of the more sensitive members of this crew can really take?
Well, that's partly up to you to decide. As a counselor, maybe sometimes, but not all the time, a softer touch maybe necessary.
Yeah.
But also, people do need to hear direct truths,
True.
especially some of the more damaged members of the ship.
True story.
I would put myself on the list.
I see. Are you my first patient, Captain?
Yes, but not right now.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, Captain, you're the captain of the ship.
I am.
I play whatever role you need me to play.
I need you to want this one. I won't put you in a position that you don't want.
You know what I want, Captain? Here's what I want. I want everybody on this ship to be okay. And if that means that I have to sit down in a room with them and talk about their feelings, sure. Let's make that be a thing. If that's the best way I can make the people on this ship be okay, I'm there.
I think it is.
Then I'm there. I'm assuming I'm still gonna have regular rotation down in sick bay, correct?
We'll work it around your schedule, but I would still like to have your expertise available.
Sure.
And I'm sure Cade would still like to have you around.
Right.
He may not seem like it, but I think he appreciates you.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
No? Especially after he attends his first counseling session.
We'll see how that goes.
I'll put you on the rotation and set a meeting between you and me.
Sounds good, Captain. Captain, just be aware I am a blunt instrument. Some of the things that I may want to do, some of the things that need to be said, might not be handled very well.
That's what we're counting on.
Here's the thing, Captain. May I speak freely?
It seems like you need to.
I do. It seems there are some members of this crew that don't respect the chain of command and don't respect the authority of Starfleet. And as a ship's counselor, I need to know you have my back.
Of course.
Then we're fine. Happy to help.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Captain. Appreciate you noticing the things we've done. Just doing my job. I enjoy it. So, but I appreciate you. I do. And if there's anything else,
Not right now.
I would love to just go out and I just got to make a little tweak to Lieutenant Tashek's little halo. Commander decided to call it a halo.
Okay.
It sounds like a great name to me.
It does, doesn't it?
It does. It's kind of, I like it. We're going to call it a halo. So we're halo. I'm going to make a quick little adjustment if that's okay with you.
Yes, you don't have to check with me on minor adjustments.
Fabulous. Thank you, Captain. Appreciate it. Goes out to Shaq. Real quick.
Is something wrong with?
No, Halo's great. Halo's great. We're
Halo.
calling it a halo.
I like it.
It sounds nice, right? I like it too. Hold on.
Appropriate.
Just let me. Okay.
Is it purple?
It's purple. I was told you wanted purple. I got your back. You enjoy, huh?
I know it's not functional, but
It's all right.
look
It doesn't
nice.
matter. It looks great.
Matches my hair.
I just kind of love the idea of like you've had such a rough week that like the emotional walls are breaking a little bit, and you
makes me a little happy.
Really, you're just a little happy.
That purple lightens up into like a lavender.
We can adjust the temperature. There you go. It's a little warmer. A little, yeah. Like, okay. Well, anyway, you just let me know if you need anything else. Got you covered. Seems you're working fine. No weird headaches, right? Great. I was a little worried. But no, okay, we're good. I'm out. Leaves down the turbo lift. And on that note, were you going to say something?
I have one quick exchange with him that I want to do.
Okay.
So
Everybody wants to talk to you.
after shift,
Mhm.
I'm coming by. Got like a basket full of Hasbrats that are wrapped up and ready to go. Walk into sick bay, find George. I put the basket down in front of him. Like, If you're pissed at me, be pissed at me. If you don't want to tell me why, I respect that. But you should eat. You should hang out with this crew. I'm taking over your shift. Take this to Chief Izzy's. Enjoy yourself. You've earned it.
Done, Chief. Grabs and leaves. Hey, I'm having you scheduled in 2 days. Be ready.
Did you get the counselor job?
Oh, yeah.
My recommendation.
Would have got it without you.
Damn right you would have.
See you in 2 days. Starts
Looking
walking
forward to it.
off. Under breath from the bitch. See you in 2 days, bitch. And on that,
I grab my jacket and put it on, ready for my shift.
we are going to call it a night, everybody. Yeah, so we're going to be back in 2 weeks. I do want to bring this up because, okay, so Star Trek shorts are back on CBS All Access. For those of you who are watching Star Trek Discovery, they have some Star Trek shorts. It just made me really think about you for a minute because they did a thing where they went to Spock's first day aboard the Enterprise. And it was really interesting. 'Cause if you remember the very first episode of Star Trek, Spock was kind of emotional. He was like smiling and laughing and everything like that. And they kind of like brought little bits of that into this little thing. It was really kind of cool, but it was like he met the number one and she kind of told him stuff and be like, you need to bury those emotions is what you got to do. And it was this really cool little interchange and just having this thing where like you're feeling these emotions. It was really cool. If you get a chance, watch the short treks. Apparently there's one coming out Thursday about Tribbles, and I can't remember his name. He's the guy that does Bob's Burgers and Archer.
H. John and Benjamin. Yeah.
Yes. He's going to be in the one that's up Thursday, and it's
Nice.
all about Tribbles with him.
Yo, H. John Benjamin is so funny.
So good.
So
That
funny.
dude is hilarious.
There's a trailer
Old
online.
movies
Look at that
fan
trailer.
right here, baby.
Yeah.
Coach McGurk.
Okay, so I think that's it. We're going to call it a day or a / night. Next week we'll be back. We'll probably be at Starbase 364, heading out possibly into the Shackleton Expanse. But we're going to start off at Narendra Station and see what happens from there. Maybe they'll get back on the trail of Dr. Prescott. Who knows? If you like what we're doing, make sure you subscribe, like and share this, and do this stuff with all your peoples and stuff. But follow and subscribe and do all that. Other than that, all the people that hung out, thanks so much for hanging out with the chat. We really do appreciate you all. I've been trying to read as much as I can in there. I love reading all that stuff.
Ethan, I totally didn't
I
pay
maybe
attention.
wasn't
What's up, Preston?
We'll see y'all later. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. Remember, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other.